We're live.
Welcome to the mildly heroic Twitch stream.
And
episode 21, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
The math checks out.
We're in the 20s. It's a good feeling.
We're
Count
technically
down
on
to
session 25.
Okay, you hush over there. Those are lost to the annals of time.
The early
I wish
days.
they weren't. Yeah, I wish they weren't. They were so good.
They were so good. There were some good episodes.
Our crazy flight from Phaendar.
Oh man, that was intense. That was a really intense episode.
Josh
Maybe
was
sometime
moved to tears.
We'll do something to discuss those.
Our first
Oh, yeah.
PC death.
Yeah, which, let me just say, I killed a PC on Friday in our Rune Lords game. It wasn't easy.
That was barely your fault.
I don't. I would
No.
say that you killed a PC. I think I can't say what my true thoughts are that resulted in that PC death.
It's like, I
Well,
may
let's-
have just taken 67 points of damage and am now at 9 hit points. That doesn't phase me.
Hey, power to him. Power to
Yeah,
him, dude. That's
yeah.
a hero.
I had no choice though. I was using a human bane weapon and this guy hated humans. So what was I supposed to do? Turn and hit the rat folk? No.
I thought it was funny. I was the only person in that fight that wouldn't be affected by human bane. So
Yeah. That's
Yeah, but to
nasty.
be fair, who actually likes rat folk? I mean,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I mean,
I
hey.
would be careful about those sorts of accusations.
both in
Shots
Pathfinder
fired.
and in Warhammer.
well, that is fair. They're pretty cool in
Yeah, the
Warhammer.
Skaven are kind of cool. Yeah.
Jason's
But-
rat folk is pretty cool.
Enough about any of that. This is something else, Sarah.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to handle the recap, so I'll toss it back to you.
Oh no, I said I was gonna do the intro. That's done.
Oh, the intro.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, I don't even remember where we picked up last time. But did we pick up at the end? No, we were fighting that last alchemist lady.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we fought her and she was a stinker and tried to get us to run into the mines and blow up, but Nyari did enough of that on her own. She
Yep.
probably hit 3 or 4 of those. Just missed perceptions and whatnot. But we did eventually kill her and ended up looking over the camp and found Scarvinius's awful tent of torture
Gross.
and did get some items from that. And afterward, Nyari, being the brooding woman that she is, decided to come back to the caves by herself, and the other 3 went to go chase some goblins that had fled from the camp, seemingly heading to Phaendar, and they were able to sort of catch up to them, but it seemed like something had already gotten to them. Some strange 5-clawed humanoid, which was a magical beast or was not a magical beast.
So
I'm
here
confused as to where we
is
left off with that.
my theory on this, because we don't technically know. We saw 5-fingered claws, which was indicative of a magical beast. It didn't look like anything that would be a regular animal would do. Then, however, we saw human or humanoid-shaped bipedal footprints leaving the scene. Now, I don't know if that means that it's like a, some kind of animal top, human bottom situation, or if it's 2 creatures. I think that that's also a realistic possibility, but we were not able to ascertain what was reality. Because
Right.
the footprints disappeared.
Yeah, that was the strange part, is they went for a few feet, 10, 20 feet, and then just were gone.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Just disappeared.
Okay.
Plain
Well-
walking.
Yeah, so not sure what that was all about, but I'm sure that it will come up later because it seemed like a lot of description for something that just trailed off.
After that mystery, the party returned back to the caves. Nyari talked to some of the survivors and found out about Tharos leaving. She was disappointed as she felt she had insulted him and was looking to make amends, but now that would have to wait and see if their paths would cross once again. Once the rest of the party returned, let's just say a domestic dispute went down and, well, That's where we're at now.
That's putting it kindly. I mean, let's just tell it like it is. Oran went down to the forge, apparently
chose
already
violence.
pissy, looking for a fight. You know, he was looking for any excuse to throw hands. Kining existed, and that was enough for Oran to think that he ought to fight her.
That's a
to the
little
death.
much. That's a little much.
No, that's
Little bit of
Finding
embellishment.
existing.
that's exactly how I remember the story.
Right.
Kining
right.
was just there, existing, and you said
Right.
she worships Droskar, she must
She
die.
deserves to die. That's
Right, yeah, that's
exactly how
that's,
it went down.
that's exactly what. Yep. That's exactly.
Yes.
So we're all going to now kill Oran. Will be the
Yes.
start of this session because
Yes.
we don't tolerate that sort of behavior.
Go ahead. Yes. Roll for initiative. Yep.
Yeah, no. More accurately speaking, though, the trigger of the drama was that Kining was in the forge, and obviously a forge is a holy place for worshippers of Torag. And after lots of adventuring and feeling underappreciated, I imagine was a big part of it. This is kind of just the straw that was the last thing to break the camel's back, push him over the edge, and a fight broke out because Kining, stubborn as ever, went back down either. And we find ourselves here.
In
Yeah.
that, with Li Fang escalating the violence unnecessarily,
He just
Throw
wants
in
to hit a
hands.
dwarf.
Yeah, he's racist. I mean, it's fine. He's half orc and he's racist. It's fine.
Correct. And we had an amazing screaming match between
Yes,
Nyari and Oran.
Yes.
Amazing performance. I want to give a shout out to Sarah. I know you hate conflict, but boy, can you play it.
did great.
Yeah.
Not well. No, that's about the extent of my arguments. They don't really make any sense, and
That's not the
Your
important
gods are
part.
stupid and you're stupid.
Right, that's not
Uh,
important. In
Okay.
every good screaming
Uh,
match I've ever seen or participated in,
Mm.
being right is not the most important
Yeah.
part to win. Trust me.
also, I just noticed that I'm down hit points, and I don't know why.
Your full hit points. Just do
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Oran channeled right before we started yelling at each other.
Yes, that is exactly what happened.
We're like, how do you like this with your stupid gods giving you full health?
Giving you full health. Are they
Oh, but-
stupid now?
That was funny. That was funny. Nyari saying that the gods haven't helped them at all in this journey, despite Desna and Gorum literally
Yeah,
being the
Did
only reason
Al
to look at
literally bring you a gift
that. Yeah.
from something? Like,
But she justified her position, and
Yep.
she's like, you know,
Fine.
she's like, listen, you know, they may have helped me here and there, but why are we in this situation at all if they care?
yeah,
Which is
just,
fair.
just, you know, ignorant.
But you know,
Yep.
these gods aren't omnipotent. You know, that's also true. You know, there's also lots of reasons.
Oh, the
but-
throwdown's happening here now.
Yeah.
No, it's happening downstairs. we
kidding.
just theater of the mind.
Oh, I have to refresh real quick. My screen went wonky.
Absolutely. So I think
Oh.
now maybe the time we toss it over to Jace? Question mark.
Yeah.
Anybody have final thoughts before we get into it?
To anybody
Nope.
listening in the podcast, it's about to begin.
No.
Hey, Jason.
Okay. So, yes, you've basically summarized the situation that we are in. This is not really an initiative order, but kind of an initiative order. Last we left off at the top of the round, Li Fang had kind of been listening to Oran and Nyari yell back and forth, and from his perspective, there was no progress being made on either side, and his patience was wearing thin, and he decided that he would just take action. And so he basically took both his hands and made fists and just rammed into both sides of Oren's head, right in the ears, landed 2 heavy blows. And Oren, I actually rolled the damage in chat to myself.
Yep.
Just start off with the damage, because why not?
Yeah.
You take 14 points of damage as his fists kind of cuff you in the ears, and you have this horrid ringing in your head all of a sudden, which probably doesn't help orient yourself after the heated fight with Nyari. All the blood rushing to your head and now suddenly getting hit on the side of the head. So I believe the way that the order kind of went, it was Li Fang, Oran, Kining. I have it in my notes here that Aaidan and Ulret are basically at the top of that ladder leading down. That's like a 40-foot climb down. So if you guys like double moved and did accelerated climbing, the DC is so low that you could just do that. You'd get about 20 feet down, I think, in one turn, unless I'm calculating that wrong, which I could be. But regardless, it's going to be probably 2 rounds to go down and actually get onto the level where everybody else is. But going into the next turn of this Theater of the Mind combat, it is Oran. Oran, you've just finished your little fight there, and you've just been hit on the side of the head for a pretty substantial amount of damage. What are you going to do?
Little fight? Excuse me? How would I respond to being hit in the head by a half orc? I can't imagine I'm happy.
Oh no.
You are currently outnumbered.
Sure,
am.
but I mean,
Sure.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he's also mad. He's also, I mean, there's a lot of things that have gone wrong to get to here. The least of which is being outnumbered in a fight.
Yeah. So he's actually gonna swing at Li Fang with his warhammer because he's pretty angry that Li Fang put his hands on him when he didn't escalate it to violence.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Well,
he did.
He
Li
did.
Fang doesn't see
was
it
a
that way.
shoving. It was a shoving match. So I mean, maybe we see it differently, but
He's
Oran's
not
gonna
using
stick
any
around.
weapons. He's
I
just
had
using
not
his hand.
attacked anybody. I literally
Yeah.
just grappled with Kyle.
Yeah.
It was a shoving match. I
Yeah,
mean,
Well,
Li
to be
Fang never
fair-
pulled a weapon on you.
According to the rules, grappling is an attack roll.
yeah,
it's
but do
a
we really
hostile
see it
action.
that way? I mean, like,
Yeah.
well, we're not really in like an actual combat here. I mean, I
don't know,
wasn't seeing it that way, but hey, maybe it's just difference of opinion. But
I
hey,
mean, if I ran out on the street and started tackling a guy, would that be considered assault?
well, yeah, if it was a random person, sure, suppose so.
Okay, if
Jason-
it was someone you knew, it wouldn't be assault.
If
I
it was
don't
a
know,
follower of
depends.
Droskar,
Yeah, if it was a Nazi, I mean, yeah, like I'd probably be okay with it. I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna let this happen. I'm gonna let this happen.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh.
Does a 26 hit?
Yep, that'll hit. 5 points of damage. Okay. I will mark that down on my piece of paper here.
Okay. And then Oren's just gonna look at him and just say, "Keep your dirty or half-orc hands off me," and then that'll be his turn.
Okay.
Oh, his racism is coming out.
Well, I mean, I do hate orcs.
Okay, next up it would be Kining.
Yep.
Trying to think what she would do. So you just dragged her out of the forge against her
just
will.
runs back in.
Yeah, she runs back in.
Oh my god.
Against her will. I think she's just gonna hold at this point. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
Li Fang has gotten your attention. Nyari's over there as well. Actually, no. Maybe she will turn to Nyari, and she'll say something like, "You've done a fine job of picking your friends, haven't ya?" And that'll be her turn. She'll just say something over to Nyari.
Goodbye, party cohesion.
And I must confess, I don't remember where Nyari's turn was in this order, but we'll just say she was at the bottom of the round. So Nyari, how are you going to respond to all of this? Li Fang just clocked Oran, and then Oran just hit him with a hammer, and then Kining's kind of turning to you, remarking subtly, very subtly, that she doesn't like your choice of friends.
Oh man. Why do I have to decide? Why am I involved?
Yeah, that's role playing, Sarah.
My hands are cold and freezing.
Same, dude.
I'm going to try to get in between Li Fang and Oran. I don't
Okay.
know what that looks like in terms of actions. I don't know if it's like an overrun against one of them.
Well, there is a reposition.
Reposition.
And that's clearly an attack of opportunity on Nyari. No, I'm kidding.
No, it
No,
definitely
no,
100% is.
No, yeah,
It's
a fucking-
100%.
I am
so-
joking wholeheartedly. Orin would never
She
attack
does not
Nyari.
have. She does not have the feat to allow her to do that without provoking.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'll provoke an attack of
so-
opportunity if you'd like to take one.
No.
Is that
Standard
a
action.
CMB
He is-
movement? Because it's a
Yes.
combat maneuver check.
Yep. It is a combat
Okay.
maneuver check.
All right, let me just see
He is not one size category larger than you.
position.
Is he presently grappled?
No, the grappling was dropped.
So she can attempt to reposition.
Yep.
Okay.
How would that work if he was grappled? Could you break the grapple up and reposition?
I don't know, and I don't really want to think about it.
Me neither.
I don't want to consider it.
Yeah.
I would. I
Okay.
mean, you let it happen, sure, but I don't know what you would roll. Would you roll AC? Like,
I don't know. I feel like I'd force people to break the grapple first, but
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, though, I think that from the verbal exchange that they had, that she is raging.
I was gonna say, are you raging?
Yeah, she's hot. She's real angry.
Are you going
So-
to cast enlarge person first? No.
In the cave,
No.
hits her head, is knocked out.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But I will. I thought. Hold on a second.
The way I have
Oh.
them positioned in my head, you could probably burning hands all three.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I will, for a 31 on a
Holy
natural 20,
Crap.
Whoa.
try
So,
to reposition myself.
Gonna have to reopen that. I didn't think I'd have to, but so if your attack is successful, you may move the target 5 feet to a new location. For every 5 by which you exceed the DC, you can move them an additional 5 feet. That definitely beats his CMD, but I don't know how much it beats it by. Justin, does it beat it by 5, by 10?
It's gonna be a lot. I don't have a real high CMD. Let's see.
She just like throws him into the wall.
Kind of. I think so. I
Yeah.
think she kind of
Yeah.
rushes forward and just meaning to kind of break this up, but also take out some anger that she's feeling. She just kind of like chucks him probably 10 feet into the wall.
Yeah. Does she like dip her shoulder down and like push him back? Does she like grab his
Well,
shoulder
it
with her
wasn't-
hands and rip
It
her
wasn't
over?
a bull rush maneuver, so I don't know if I would have like shoulder down charged, but
Well, what I'm seeing here is that his CMD is, 15. So you can move him
She
up
could
to
slam
20
him.
feet if
Yeah,
you
she
want.
could slam. She could slam him into the wall. He could take bludgeoning damage for
I mean, you
collision.
don't have to move him 20 feet, but you can, with that roll, move him up to 20 feet, which is astounding.
It is astounding. How do you want to do this? Make it
she
cool,
just
Sarah.
yeets him
She
into
picks
the
him
hole.
up under the arm. Under the arm. Runs
Twirls
away.
him around.
She runs away with him.
Reposition me, will you?
Rape was. Channel your WWE
I just imagine she's
energy.
picking him up and running with him. Orin's legs are just kicking. Put me down!
Yeah, so I think she's a little more forceful than she intended to be, but she's really angry and she's not thinking straight, which when has she ever really thought straight, but she will basically, I don't know how exactly the reposition works, but I could see her like taking her arms and like flinging him back like 15 feet or however far it would be to
Mhm.
get to a wall. And then she's like, she yells out, "Enough!" And then she like puts her hands out between them and she's got her, well, she doesn't have her axe out, she just has her hands out right now.
Sammy.
Okay.
What does he say?
He says, "Moody women." Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Backpedal hard on that one, buddy.
So this definitely isn't how it explicitly works, but I think with flavor it fits. Oran, take 5 non-lethal damage from getting hit into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
'Cause
thrown into a wall.
I feel
Okay.
like
I feel like that fits the
check,
situation.
her being able to throw you 20 feet back, you hit against the wall, like your head hits the. It's not lethal damage; it's non-lethal, but you kind of hit your head on the wall a little bit, and Nyari comes between the two of you and just shouts out enough. Is there anything else that you want to say before your turn ends this round, Nyari? Or is that about what you want for now?
No, I'm just holding my position between the two of them.
By that logic,
Okay.
Jace, I guess I was wondering, was Li Fang's punch lethal or non-lethal?
It was lethal.
Okay.
Ooh,
Wow. Okay.
yikes.
I'm the monster.
You did use a
I'm
weapon
Push
against
guy.
him.
After the fact. Like,
So, top of this next round, we will say that Aaidan and Ulret, I assume you guys are both going to start climbing down.
Yeah.
You could shout out something as well if you wanted, because you're definitely within earshot of this at this point.
No. Just
Okay.
running down.
Aiden's not saying anything. He is just booking it down there, try to figure out what's going on. The LaRosa, Tydell, and Aubryn are about a round behind you. They get to the top there. Next up, we have Li Fang. So Li Fang is just kind of like put his hands down. He's still kind of seething. He's breathing heavily, and he will say, trying to think how he would react to all this. There's a lot of reactions going on here.
The DM gets the role play a little bit today too.
Yeah.
right?
As long as that dwarf stays down, then so will I. But the moment he comes over here again, I will knock him right out.
And that will be his turn. Next up, it is Oran.
So a bit dazed, because, he was punched in the head and then thrown against a wall
20 feet.
for essentially pushing Kyning. Seems like
You're
a bit
really
of an
underplaying
overreaction,
this,
but,
I think you're underplaying this more than you
but
realize.
that's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Thrown 20 feet into a wall, punched in both ears for shoving someone. No, but seriously, Oran's done, guys. He that's a final straw. Nyari shoving him into a wall. That's it. He's not angry anymore. He's saddened by it, and that's what his face is gonna show. That he's a little shocked and a little saddened.
In what way? What saddens him? You want to show us a little bit of light into what's going through his head?
Yeah, so I mean, in his mind, the way he sees it is, he's been with Nyari from the start. It's been a heck of a few days. I mean, starting in Phaendar all the way through, he's made his position clear, and his demand is essentially that he just doesn't want Kyning in the Forge. I from his perspective, he didn't elicit violence. It was him grappling with Kyning to get her out of the Forge. He thinks he made that pretty clear, made that argument clear in the last shouting match with Nyari, and after seeing Li Fang attack him and then Nyari charging and slamming him into a wall.
Do you think he feels betrayed?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he didn't resort to violence. He didn't raise his weapon first. He was punched in the head for, whatever we want to call it, 14 points of damage, but that's not an insignificant amount. I imagine a little bit of blood's coming out of his ears at 14 points of damage.
Oh, surely, yeah.
Yeah, surely. He's bleeding from his ears, and now he was thrown 20 feet into a wall, hitting his head. And yeah, it's not it's not lethal, but yeah, he's saddened by this. He's not enraged by that. He's saddened by it.
The way he
Yeah.
says it, he didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Does he still think that? He doesn't think at all. The thought like, wow, I can't believe I did something that caused that reaction on Nyari. There's no self-reflection going on at the moment.
No, not in this moment. No. Why would he? I mean,
Right.
in this moment, I doubt he might later, but no, in this moment, no self-reflection.
Right. It's not like he feels bad that he pushed Nyari to that and this surprises him. He just feels betrayed. Like he can't believe.
It's beyond
no one
reckoning
would-
for him.
Right, that no one would take his side.
For going through all that they've gone through. You know, we're talking Phaendar, we're talking Crystal Down, we're talking the Red Jaw camp, you know, and everything in between. You know, all the stuff with Illica, and that essentially he would be thrown against the wall. I mean, that's no.
All
he's
that
done.
shared experience didn't purchase any loyalty.
Right.
And that probably hurts.
Or any moment of hesitation that maybe he's right, or maybe I should hear him out more, or de-escalate things in a different way, you know.
Right.
But I get it. She's a barbarian. No, Justin gets it that she's a barbarian.
Right.
Oran and her have never seen eye to eye on that kind of thing. You know, he's more the divines, and she's more, you know,
Primal.
primal, raw power kind of
Mhm.
thing. So, you know, Oran, he's gonna put his weapons away and just kind of hunch his shoulders. And Jace, I don't know where do you mind moving us to the other layer? I'd like to get a feel of where we're actually at in that
Yeah,
tunnel.
about
If you don't have the map, that's fine.
Give me a second.
He's
So
like, about that, I
I
deleted it.
I deleted that.
I did.
Guys,
I-
there's a giant dragon down there now, and
Yeah. He's like, let me clear out all the hobgoblins that were down there. Just, you know.
Let me just make that semi-dimensionally accurate, and then I'll move you over there. It's gonna look.
Funky.
Yeah, I mean the squares are 100% not gonna line up.
Funky.
Well,
Oh,
I don't
that
think that's
fog of war. Whoops.
super important.
Let me
They
get rid of
line
that.
up perfectly.
There's that.
Sammy Miami says, this scene reminds me of the old Pooh Bear video when Rabbit told Tigger never to bounce again. It's so sad and dejected. I can see it.
I think what is an interesting perspective to consider is some notion of pride or honor. Like when you said you felt betrayed, and Andrew brings up being disrespected. I think that that's something that's probably chiefly important to Oran, and I think that that's something that we haven't explored yet with this group, because most of them don't really care about that kind of stuff so much,
Right.
especially near Mathis.
I was gonna say in Nermathis, it's true freedom. You know, so it's, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's hedonism. You're all
It's a
hedonists.
A hedonistic paradise is how I
I'm
like
outta
to think
here.
about it.
Okay, so you see the map now. You see all the tokens.
Yep.
I'm using the same token I had for Sir Dahudwal as Li Fang because I don't have a different one.
Oh. May he rest in peace.
So that's
He
why
was
I'm
so much better
thinking
than
that
Leaf Fang.
like you were right in like this spot here between,
That's exactly where I was thinking. Yep.
and then
yep.
she just kind of flew you back 15, 20 feet
I was
into
thinking
that
I was
wall. Okay,
kind of
yeah,
over
that's-
here
that's
because I was
fine.
coming from this direction, so I
Yep.
would have like come this way and then flung him over.
So Oren's gonna just, with really sad eyes, I mean saddened by what's happened, gonna look at Nyari and just say, you know, I expected better from you, and just, let's see here.
And that's not going to go over well, I'm afraid.
He's on the move.
Nope.
Who's on the move?
Oren.
Oh, he hasn't moved for me.
He's just plotting out. his
He's not
movement.
gonna
Oh.
run. He's not gonna run, but he will move in towards there.
Okay. That's Oren's turn.
He just is gonna walk.
He starts walking off in the direction deeper into the caves. Kining is going to stand there probably for another round, just kind of like looking, waiting, kind of like listening to his footsteps recede into the distance
So-
there.
Is she shocked at all at the events, or does she kind of expect that behavior from a follower of Torog? What's her insight into that, do you think, Jace? Because, like, the last time we've kind of had those interactions, she's always been like, oh, you're just a typical, you know, follower of Torog. You're just a typical dwarf from the Sky Citadels. Like, so is she surprised at all by Orin's?
Roll a retroactive sense motive for Orin.
Okay.
Okay. With an 11, she didn't have like a look of shock or anything on her face. Like, I can't believe that this is happening. But you're not sure if to what degree she was expecting this, or if the level at which this animosity came might have been surprising to her. You're not 100% certain, or at least Orin's not. It didn't look like she was caught totally off guard necessarily.
Okay. And then that's my turn.
Earthquake!
Okay. Her turn. She's not going to really do anything for now. She's just kind of watching how things play out. Not sure what's going on exactly at this point anymore. Nyari, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to hold for now.
Okay. Nyari holds. Top of the next round is when Aaidan and Ulret would both climb down at roughly the same time. They'd get down here. They'd see Li Fang standing there, a bit of a bruise on his side where he was hit with the hammer. Kaining looks a bit disheveled as she was kind of moved out of position and was like wrestling.
Her hair's messed up. Her hair's messed up.
And Nyari's face is just red with anger. What are you guys doing as you get down here, see this scene? Orin's nowhere to be seen.
Real quick, I'd like to also point out that Kaining has a very Karen haircut. Okay,
It is very Karen.
Maybe we should just take that into consideration. I'm kidding.
It is very Karen. I'll accept that.
She wants to speak to Orin's manager. Is all I'm saying.
She 100% would too.
She would.
The more I look at it, the more true it is.
No, she wants to speak to Orin's manager.
She so her personality and everything, she 100% would do that.
She would walk straight up.
Ulret would just be looking around, observing everybody's faces, and just ask, "Well, what happened down here? I heard a ruckus. I thought maybe y'all were having some sort of sporting or game happening, but this doesn't look good." Can he sense motive? Can I get a...
Sure, yeah, you can
idea
try
of
to
what
get a
happened?
feel for the room.
I also would like to try to read the room as he comes down. I want to see how much he can gauge without having to speak.
Okay, so we have a 22 for Ulret and a 21
Natural
for Aaidan.
20 for Aaidan.
Natural.
Nice.
Okay, so both of you get down here and you're kind of reading the room, and like I said, you see Li Fang has a very, very recent bruise on his side that he's kind of favoring a little bit. Kaining is disheveled, and Nyari is just red-faced with anger, and you can both pretty much piece things together fairly quickly.
We know about their relationship and their differences.
Yep. You know Kaining was almost certainly in the forge. You know Orin has issue with Kaining, or has in the past. Aaidan especially would know that, at least. It doesn't take very much to get a pretty decent grasp of what's going on.
Oh, it looks like you engaged in some fisticuffs. I would have liked to get in on that. Whoever's up next, I'm in.
I gotta figure out how much Aiden's grown up.
Li Fang will respond to that, and he'll say,
What if you're that eager you can still catch up to the fool?
And he just points to the doorway that Oran left.
Nyari, as soon as there's opportunity, she's going to go back up the ladder.
Okay.
Aaidan is going to be unfortunately mean. He'll say,
I'm not raging anymore, by the way.
"Shut up, Ulret. This isn't the game." And he's just gonna kind of pace over this way. This is real life.
As she's passing by, Ulret's gonna ask.
Opportunity!
As she's passing by,
Ah!
Ulret's gonna ask Nyari, "Did you and that half-orc over there get into some kind of scuffle?"
Justin, what's that reaction?
Oran could have totally looked at Nyari and said, "I thought I had a friend in you." Why?
It's better. It's better this way. Nope, it's better this way.
You guys
it's
hear
not.
down the hall
And she would have said, "You
He
are a
steps
sad,
out, he
strange
steps
little
out as
man."
He's walking away.
Oran's
I
echoing
thought I had a
voice.
friend in you. That's
Anyways,
good.
Missed opportunities.
Nyari just looks at Ulret and her face is still red and she's breathing heavily and she's not raging anymore. And she'll just shake her head and then she's gonna go up the ladder, not say a word.
okay. Delete you from the map.
Oran's
Anything-
continuing.
Okay. Oran is continuing.
Off
Whoa.
the map.
Oh, he going.
Oh yeah, he's determined.
Li Fang will respond to Ulret and say,
She and I didn't have any issues. It was your dwarf friend.
What?
Aaidan will give kind of like a nod, as if to say I'm sorry or something, and is going to go pacing after that way.
okay.
Ulret's
And
very-
then he repositions Oran into the wall as he goes by.
No, I think Oran's already gone. Because
Probably.
I wouldn't check down that way. He's checking back here, like Veld's room and this part of the caves, and
And Veld had already come out, hadn't she?
No, she's
Yeah.
still in there. I
Oh,
was
okay.
joking that she would come out and put you all to sleep. But
Put
she
us all to
didn't.
sleep.
You open the door and there's just smoke that just comes wafting out.
Yeah, Aiden, you're just circling around the areas. You don't see Oran anywhere. You go into that. You don't see Oran anywhere. You do see smoke coming out of Veld's room, but that's not.
is Veld's
surprising.
room or is this Veld's room?
Veld's room is the inner sanctum. Like the furthest point from anybody in this place is her room.
I'm gonna have to do it. Veld, Veld, I'm sorry to have to talk to you, but is Oran there?
No. It's just me.
Right. I'm
It's just been
going.
me all day.
I understand. I'm sorry to bother you, Veld.
Okay.
Feld is the best.
As he leaves, he shouts out. He's like, "Thank you for coming here."
You're welcome.
Remember, everybody, for this live stream drinking game, there's Veld's no, so take a shot or a sip of water.
No.
And she coughs a lot as you walk away.
And he's like pushing away the smoke. It's like, what is she doing in there, man?
Vape Nash, bro.
Vape Nage.
So Ulret, what are you doing over there?
Oran?
Ulret.
Ulret's still holding, by the way, the bottle of wine he had upstairs, and he's gonna walk over to Kining and shoot, his name just lost.
Li
Li
Fang.
Fang, thank you. And he's gonna hold it up to them, and he's like, "Hey, you look like you're smarting a bit. Here, have some wine. Tell me what happened."
Li Fang will look down at you. probably twice your height. I don't know how tall Ulret is, but he's probably twice your
He's
height.
3'2".
Maybe not twice, but close to it, probably. He takes the drink and he just takes a swig and he just kind of sighs and he says, "Well, I'm not entirely sure myself, but I heard a scuffle over here and I came running in and all I saw was that dwarf was manhandling this lass here." Which, Ulret, you probably would find funny because, given ages of half-orcs and dwarves, Kyning is certainly older than him. And he's addressing her very differently. Kyning just kind of grunts. He says, he was trying to force me out of the forge here. Thought he owned it or something. Typical Torag. Thinks they own everything that Droskar does." Then she just starts walking back into the forge.
Hearing that.
She kind of.
Oh, go ahead.
Because she looks at what she had been trying to craft before this happened. It's cooled off a bit now, and she's just gonna have to start all over now.
Hearing that, and given his knowledge of religions, I'd imagine I don't have to do a knowledge religion for Ulret to know enough about Torag and Droskar to understand the animosity towards each other.
Out of curiosity, what do you get if you take 10 on knowledge religion?
I can take 10 because of my lore master trait anyway.
Are you high enough level for that already?
Yes, at 5th level, the bard becomes a master of lore and can take 10 on any knowledge skill check that he has ranks in, and I have, I think, 5 or 6 in knowledge religion, so I would imagine I would know that anyway.
I'm just curious what your result would be if you took 10 on it.
15?
Yeah, okay. With a 15, you have a basic understanding of Torag. He's one of the main deities. It's not hard to come across information about him. And you also have a pretty basic understanding of Droskar and their relationship as being one of animosity. Droskar kind of sees Torag as hypocritical, and Torag detests many of the aspects of Droskar, such as his willingness to abide by slavery or enforce slavery, as well as his willingness to just kind of take work when it needs to, like, from other people. He has the temperament of, I'll get it done however it needs to be done. He doesn't really care about the means. So you know that there's a conflict between those two deities.
I see. That makes sense. And so he'll just be standing there and just listening to them, I guess, recounting what happened.
Yeah. And unless you continue the conversation, once Li Feng has explained it all, I mean, Kyning's going back into the forge. Once Li Feng has explained it all, he kind of just sighs and he says, "I think I'm gonna go up for a bit." Starts making his way to the ladder.
So during that time, after talking to Veld and checking everywhere, I think as he passes by here again, the realization of the only place Oran might be dawns on him, and I'll go ahead and take a survival check to track, if possible.
Okay.
I am not, however, in my favored terrain, nor is humans my favorite enemy, so I just have 10 rank. Can you take 10 on a survival?
Sure.
20.
Let's see. This would be considered hard ground, which makes the base DC 20. But
really?
No time has passed. There's no other conditions stopping it.
Was he making any effort to conceal his path?
I can't imagine that he was.
I can't imagine.
Maybe. I don't
he has
think
a high
there's any.
survival. I mean,
He could if he was moving at half speed. if he wasn't making an effort to like disguise his tracks, I don't think there's any modifiers that would change it from a DC 20.
Me neither. I can't think of anything.
So you see tracks going in that direction. How far? Like, are you following them or?
Well, I think it's kind of like, you know, the movie scene pans and you see Aaidan's like reaction to that information. As I think he kind of suddenly realizes it, and then he knows exactly where to look as he just sees the trail go in until it's too far, it's too dark into it to see, and the dark lands just, it gets black and black. He'll pull out his iron torch, you know, and it will start floating above his head, and all the way to the edge of the light there's no Oran, and it just looks like an endless way. I mean, they've walked down this one before. He knows how long it stretches in a straight line, and it just looks endless. And, you know, he knows that chasing after him might be an effort in futility. I mean, he could catch up, but then can he convince Oran to come back? Can he convince him to find the way? And if he can't, can he find his way back? He's never navigated underground before. Not really. He's done some spelunking, but nothing like this.
Roll a perception check as you start looking down this tunnel. Start maybe taking a few steps in.
Yeah, he does. He takes a few in. And he's got the torch out, or the stone. 22.
Right at the edge of your vision, you see something on the ground. It looks like a small...
Parchment?
You get a little bit closer, looks maybe like, yeah, like a... As you get closer, it looks like a journal of sorts. Some sort of book.
He walks towards it, you know, picks it up. The flame floats around the back of his head as he slowly opens the first page.
You see this is one of Oran's books. Justin... Okay.
Whispers in chat, I assume? Or...
Maybe.
Secrets.
You see in this book are listed all of the grudges that Oran has.
his book
There's-
of grudges?
The attack on Phaendar. There's Gristledown is mentioned. I believe that the Centaur York you fought with, he's mentioned.
He's on mine too.
There's a list of all of these grudges here, and as you're flipping through the pages, you get to one of the most recent pages, and you see a note kind of written in there, and it just says, "Leaving to find my way home. I wish you all luck and the best."
Oh shoot. He gone.
As he reads in disbelief and he just looks down. He'll shout down the tunnel. I hope you find your way, Oran! As it echoes down the chamber. He doesn't think it'll carry it the whole way, but
Okay.
Nyari's name isn't in the book.
Nope.
Speaking of Nyari,
Well, you know, I don't want to blow out people's eardrums.
No, I meant like from Oran because he stumbled into something in the Darklands. You just hear.
I was gonna say, you see Oran running back with a horde of something chasing him. I made a mistake!
or I could hear him
Take me
grumbling, like, even with dark vision, I stumble my dark toe. And can't see down here. It's all black and white. It's just. You know.
so skipping back to Nyari, who had climbed up the ladder while all of these conversations had happened. Nyari, you get to the top, and standing pretty much right in front of you is Aubryn, LaRosa, and Tydell, with very worried expressions on their face because they still don't have any idea what's going on. So you get up there, and Aubryn kind of steps forward. She says, Nyari, what's going on? I don't. There's noises coming from down there. Li Fang was shouting. What's happening?
I don't know for certain, but when I came, I just saw Oran and Kaining going at it, and Li Fang stepped in, and it escalated to a fight, and I don't know, Oran left towards the deeper tunnels. I don't know.
Auburn kind of like looks to the other two and nods down towards the ladder, and they kind of rush down to start climbing down to see what's going on. And she stays up there with you, and she says, "Is everything all right down there? You said there was a fight, or are they hurt? What was it like when you came up?"
I think everyone's fine. I don't know. Apparently he can take care of himself with his god magic.
All right. Well, I'll go take a look. We'll see what's going on, and see if we can't calm everything down and figure out what to do about this. Thank you for your information. And she kind of, still worried expression, cuts short the conversation and starts heading down herself.
How does that go? How easily can you get down a ladder with a peg leg?
I mean, I think I don't know what they gave her for climb.
Does she just like fire, like in a firehouse? Like she just zooms down like on a pole?
She has a +4 climb, so
Huh.
she can do it.
I could probably go up and down a ladder with one leg, so probably the same.
I mean,
I'm just thinking more of it getting in the way is the only thing.
you just hold
you
it
just-
out just like you would a leg, right? I
Maybe.
think, right? Maybe, I don't know. I've never tried it. I'll try it tonight.
And is this like this isn't really important at all, but just for my mental image, is it like a static, like fully wooden ladder, or is it like a rope ladder?
no, it's like carved into the wall.
Oh, so
Like,
it's like
there
a
are
stone.
divots. There
I
are
see.
divots,
Okay.
Like a
in
reed
the
nest,
wall.
yeah.
Oh,
that
okay.
make
That
it
makes
kind of
more
like-
sense.
Yeah,
It's
Okay,
not like
never
a
mind.
natural ladder or anything. It's part of the wall itself.
I was picturing like a rope ladder that's like
No,
not
no,
very
no, no, no.
firm on the. Okay, that makes more sense.
For all intents and purposes, it's like an actual ladder,
Okay,
just carved into the wall.
gotcha.
What are you doing, Nyari? You're up there alone. Where are you going?
I'm going to find Ilika.
Okay. She's 2 rooms down. You find her pretty quickly.
Ilika, I've made up my mind. I'm not staying here. I think we should go.
She kind of looks at you, like her eyes go wide a bit. She says, that was fast. I know we were talking about that, but I didn't think you'd come to a decision so quickly."
Well, I think now is the perfect time to go. We won't have to answer any questions.
I mean, all right. I can get my things together. I'm ready to go whenever. Where are we? Where do you think we're going? Are we heading back home, or are we going somewhere else?
I don't know. For now, I think it's probably best to try to go to a city, and then we can regroup and think about where to go from there. But we have to get through the forest first, so that's our main priority.
All right. Well, I can see if I can borrow a map from somebody before we leave. But I like I said, I'll go get my things ready. And you can tell that, like, she's kind of excited because she's been wanting to leave for a while, because the longer that, from her perspective, the longer that you and her have stayed here, the more danger you've put yourself in. So she's kind of relieved that you're ready to leave. She's like, "Oh, maybe we can go somewhere that isn't constantly dangerous."
We just have to get through the constantly dangerous forest first.
Yeah.
Not
so,
to roleplay an NPC, but I think, at least like projecting my own feelings, she probably feels like conflicted about, absolutely this is what she wanted to happen all along, but she also probably feels like she wants to make sure this is the decision Nyari wants to make and not just something she's making in emotion, but probably just really wants to leave a lot more, you know? But that conflict might be there, I think.
I think Ilika has a sense of two things. One, whenever Nyari sets her mind on something, it's really hard to convince her otherwise. And two, I don't think she wants to convince her
Right.
necessarily. She's definitely going to take some time to go and talk to Rena, who had been caring for her, and kind of talk to her about things. But she's going to get her stuff around, and she's already made peace with leaving. So Nyari, you get your things around. Ilika gets her things around. All of these conversations are happening down below. Are you leaving right away,
Mhm.
or?
Yep.
Okay.
Without a goodbye?
Most of the people who would stop you are down below trying to figure out what's going on.
Ulret would have
So-
gone upstairs again with Li Fang. By the way, I was going to mention that earlier, but I don't know if that makes any difference.
Okay.
If he would have seen Nyari leaving
Thinking
from
about the
there or not.
timeline, I think if I have the timeline right in my head, I think you'd get up there pretty much as Nyari and Ilika are nearing the end of their packing phase.
Yeah, because she went up before.
Yeah.
Li Fang.
Because they went up, had that conversation, would have started packing their things. You finished your conversation, Li Fang headed up. If you go up with him, then you'd probably see them packing their bags.
Seeing them packing up, then I guess Ulret would approach them and, ask Nyari, "Oh, are we ready to go out on another adventure right now?"
I don't think you want to come with us, Ulret. We don't have any intention of returning.
"Oh, where are you going?"
I don't really know. But I just know that I can't stay here anymore.
Was that altercation with Oran that bad?
It was pretty bad. And it made me realize that my presence here does more harm than good, I think.
You know, in the stories of heroes I've collected over my travels, there's always a moment when they come to doubt themselves, and they wonder if they really have what it takes to save those around them. And they tend to be the ones to judge themselves the harshest. I'm not telling you what to do, lass. You obviously know what you're doing, but could it be that maybe the one who doubts you the most is yourself? You've kept these people safe so far.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure that it could have been done without me. Someone else would have stepped up, I'm sure.
Well, I can assure you, as long as it's up to me, history will not remember it that way.
Well, be kind to us, Ulret, in your stories. Remember the good things.
That's my job.
Apparently it started raining in the caves, so better get out now.
I was
on
gonna
the
say, the
outside.
caves are flooding, so...
No, I think it's trickling on the outside. It was good ambiance. It set the mood. It transitioned well.
If I didn't want to be super cliche, it would suddenly start raining outside.
Yeah, no, it is raining outside. I think that's what happened. It's raining outside. You lead into the tropes. They depart in the rain. Classic.
Okay. So, Aaidan, you are down in the corridor still. You've just shouted out a farewell to Oran. By the time you do that, I imagine you start making your way back to the original room.
Yeah.
You meet up, and in that room you see Lirosa, Tydell, and just coming off the ladder is Oberyn. They're kind of looking around. None of the people who are relevant to this conversation are in the room anymore. So they see you, and Oberyn steps forward, and she says, "Aaidan, I'll confess, I've got no idea what's going on. Everybody seems to be freaking out about something, and I don't know what the details are. What's happening here? I heard that Oran went off on his own. There's some kind of struggle with Li Fang and him and Nyari and Kaining, and I don't know what's going on. Do you have any information?
Who's still in here?
Just you. I'll get Ulret and Li Fang out. Just you, La Rosa, Tydell, and Auburn, and then Kaining is in the adjacent room. Those are the only ones of you still on this level.
Auburn, you know as much as I do. I just got down here myself. Oran has gone to the Darklands. I saw that. And he kind of holds tightly the book of grudges he has now.
Well, I'll confess. I don't know if maybe, as a dwarf, if he knows the Darklands better than I do, but seems to me like a foolish decision. And you said you handed her the book?
No,
Or
he
what-
has it.
Oh,
he
you just showing it?
No, he just kind of like clutched onto it.
Okay.
He's holding on it, you know. He kind of
Um,
bore it tightly. Probably creased the spine. Poor book.
She just kind of starts shaking her head and she says, well, let's hope his faith in Torag is strong enough to keep him alive down there at least. Because I don't think we're going to be able to get him back out of there.
Aaidan gives a deep sigh. I've known Oran to be a lot of things. Stubborn and bullish, but never a fool. I don't know what will happen to him, but it is right what you said. We cannot go after him, and he has made his choice. It kind of like changes gears mid-conversation as he realizes that La Rosa and Tydell are also there. He kind of, there's like a moment's pause as he's looking how to say, what to say next, but he's... What is the morale of the rest of the camp?
Well, until just now, it was quite good. You had all made it back and said that you'd taken care of the camp. Everybody was in pretty high spirits. Currently, nobody really knows what happened, but I think there's going to be a bit of confusion trying to explain this incident. And she kind of like rubs her neck, like she's suddenly become exhausted, and she's like, I think we'll manage, but I don't rightly know how to explain this to everybody. There might be some questions on where Oran is.
I think Aaidan is thinking about past confrontations with Li Fang, who he had sympathized with, and, you know, keeping other things hidden, and he is going to advocate that we don't do that again, basically. And he's going to start to think, I don't know how we let everyone know, but Oran is gone. I know that this isn't popular idea, Oberyn, but I am beginning to think that we have to have someone who keeps us unified. And I know he's struggling to find a way to say what he's trying to say. We can't have everyone acting on their own will. I know that we fight for freedom, but if we want that life, we have to act as one. And I have seen lately that it is not easy for everyone to do that.
She breathes in pretty deeply, and she kind of looks to La Rosa and Tydell, and she says, "Why don't the two of you go check on Kining, make sure that she's all right. See if you can do anything to calm her down." And they both nod and kind of head over to the other room. And she sighs and turns back to you, Aaidan. She says, "I'd agree that at this point we might need somebody to take on a bit of a leadership role here. Otherwise, I get the feeling that people are just going to start scattering off doing their own thing. And we're going to be in a worse state than when we started this. I just don't know who that person should be at this point."
He shakes his head. I do not know either, Oberyn. I know you have said before that you do not want to.
I can keep the people together. I think that is something that I can do. But as far as leading them and giving them a goal, I don't know so much about that. As I said, I'm not much use in combat anymore. I'm not much use scouting out in the area. Best I can do, I think, is just soothe people's emotions and console them. Try to get them to look on the bright side of things. And that's what I've been doing while you guys are out. Doing what you need to do out there, out in the dangers of the forest. And who knows, maybe things will get better from this point on. If you've taken care of the camp, maybe this is just one last struggle that we have to overcome, and then things will get better. I don't know.
He nods. I should go talk to Nyari. I think that we will be able to come to a decision together. And he'll kind of give a nod as he climbs up the ladder.
Okay. You start climbing up the ladder, and you can hear behind you as Oberyn kind of looks in the direction of where Oran would have left. You can just kind of hear her say faintly under her breath, "He's in the hands of Torak now." And then she'll start going off to talk to Kining. But you make it up to the top, and at this point, I would say Nyari and Ilika have probably finished packing. They probably didn't have a whole lot to pack to begin with. Their conversation is likely over. Aaidan, you kind
gone, honestly, already.
As you get to that room, and you could pretty quickly notice that Nyari and Ilika are not there. And if you ask anybody there, they'd basically just say they left, like, you missed them by a minute, like they just left. So it's up to you on how you want to handle that.
I'm conflicted. Missed them by a minute, you're saying?
Yeah, like, you could totally catch up to them.
Yeah, he's gonna run after her.
Okay. Nyari, are you and Ilika making any effort to hide your tracks, or are you just, like, leaving?
We're just leaving.
Okay. Josh, roll survival. It's a much lower DC than it was for Oran. I'm sure you'll be able to hit it.
I said, do you want me to roll again, or?
Yeah, just roll again. I just want to see what you roll.
Bye, Sarah.
Sorry, I
Favorite-
hit the button on my mouse that makes the page go back.
All
So
good. Happens.
Favored terrain,
I'm coming.
forest. And here we are. Plus 12 to this roll now.
Okay.
Plus half the level of the track.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Yep. So with in excess of 30, you easily spot their tracks, and you can catch up to them less than a minute. It's very quick for you to spot them and track them down.
He shouts out her name. Nyari! Whatever, however far away he is. Is there a
Nyari, you
response?
hear Aaidan's voice at this point, probably just out of sight, probably like 100 feet back or so.
Mhm.
She kind of scoffs and just says to Ilika, keep going, Ilika. I should have known that he would try to catch up to us.
Oof. The
No
cold
response.
shoulder. Oh.
He stops. Nyari, I haven't come to change your mind. And I know that you're still there to hear me. Thank you for all that you did for us. I'm sorry I was a burden to you. I hope you and Ilika have a wonderful and safe life. Thank you. And I know you don't want the gods to be with you. So you better hold your own, so I can keep my promise to your brother, cousin, whoever he was.
His
brother.
brother.
Half brother.
That
Trails
dude.
off.
Keep your promise to that guy.
Be strong. And he'll just kind of wait around and then leave.
She will pull something from the haversack.
Sure you don't want to bull
And-
rush him? Throw
She
him.
will pull back the string on her short bow.
Yeah.
Such sad, very cry.
She will pull out something from the haversack and take just about a minute where she just stops, takes a minute, and then she lets it go. And I usually have to look this up to make sure that I'm saying it right. So Aaidan, as you turn and you're walking away, a small bird comes and lands on your hand,
Aw.
and it has a message that just says, "You were never a burden."
He probably starts crying. Aw.
Okay. And with that, we have Oran.
He unfurls the scroll from the bird and it says, "No, you."
Deep from underground, you hear, "Yes, you were."
I almost did a spit take. I had just gone to take a drink of tea, and then I read that, and I was like, "No, pull back, no." Goodness.
So,
So you.
with that, we have Oran going off to the Darklands, try to find some way home. Nyari and Ilika going off into the Fangwood, going who knows where. Theros is going off to Crystalhurst to meet with his grandfather, and his parents will shortly follow. I didn't get a TPK this book, but
You got pretty dang close.
As,
to
as,
be fair.
Yeah.
as
Pretty
Aaidan,
close.
as
Couple
Aaidan walks into the
times.
cave, can we
This thing.
wrap up this book with a song from Ulret? He's writing about Nyari as she leaves.
Oh.
yeah, one thing I was gonna say is we probably would have had this scene in the past with you guys bringing all those heirlooms back from
Oh,
Camp
yeah.
Red Jaw.
Oh.
There was
So I'm
Orin.
kind of
He took him.
I'm kind of seeing in my head this final scene, a bittersweet scene of Ulret and Aaidan passing out these heirlooms to the people, as maybe Ulret is writing or singing a song. And if this were like more cinematic, we'd kind of skip between scenes of Oran climbing down these tunnels, of Nyari walking off in the forest, and then Theros walking off as well. And then interchanged with scenes of passing out these heirlooms and of Ulret singing. And you can handle that song, Andrew, if you'd like.
That's a pretty good Well
Yeah,
done, Jason.
yeah,
That's a
that's cool.
pretty good image you just built there of like all three of them kind of going down different areas and them handing out the heirlooms and stuff. Well done.
I think it's great. Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a beautiful transition because they're all going so many different directions. And there's one left. And we kind of have a crazy situation where it is none of the original cast.
I was gonna say not a single
Aaidan.
member of the starting.
Oh wait, no,
ca-
yeah, the restarting cast.
yeah,
Yeah,
Zelwood, yeah. Nobody
Wow.
from Phaendar. Nobody from Phaendar is still here, except the
Yeah.
survivors, obviously. But
Except for
yeah.
the survivors. Yeah. Which is, I think, beautiful to transition to a season 2 of a show, let alone book 2. So I'm super excited. Andrew, Mr. Ulret.
Take it away.
Well,
No pressure.
Ulret will be talking to Li Fang and the children that are kind of sitting there in the caves with him, and he's like, you know, my cousin Joseph isn't here to let me test my songs on him. He used to give me feedback when we would travel together, but if y'all will have me, I'd love to try out my new songs. I have some about the heroes or escapades at the camp, and a song of departing for Nyari. I'm still working on Oran's and Tharos's ballads, but if you'll hear them, I'll sing them for you now. This song goes out to Nyari, and may history remember her as the hero she was. Fists of fire, axe of steel, raging justice, furious will, headstrong hero, warrior's art, nothing stops her kellid heart. Always known by history, they will fear her righteous fury. Evil scatters when they hear the battle cry of brave Nyari. And that's it.
The children would all clap and
Throw-
they just love it. The 6 of them there would just be like clapping. Yeah, they almost certainly start telling you to do it over and over again.
The little girls are dancing. The boys are like play fighting.
And as this is going on, Aaidan is probably over there handing out some of these heirlooms, and you see that that elegantly embroidered scarf belonged to Jet. It was a family heirloom of hers. You see the set of silver charms on rings, each one in a different shape, in a shape of a different leaf that was belonging to Rena. And you also find a clasp, like a family crest on a clasp that you hand out, and Li Fang identifies as the family crest of Sir Dehudwal. And there's a couple other smaller items that people come forward and they take as either their own items or items of people who almost certainly fell and were family members or friends. Basically what that means is, and that's something we'll handle out of session, but those people, Jet, Rena, and Li Fang, all get a promotion, and then you'd be able to choose 2 other random members of the survivors to also get a promotion. But we can handle that out of session.
Can you promote people twice?
Yeah, they just can't be higher level than you. I'm kind of thinking that
I can't promote Illica. I thought having a shaman would be helpful.
I'm kind of thinking that I would make Jet be a bard, and I would make Rena
Jet's
be
gonna
a
be
cleric.
a bard?
That's the class that I think fit best.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think Jet would transition into... I wouldn't level her up. I would just transition her from aristocrat to bard, and Rena from adept to cleric. So they'd both be 2nd level still, but they'd have PC levels at this point. I just figured it would be easier that way.
Yeah, that's great.
And then Li Fang bumped up to level 2 brawler, which we already saw.
Did anything happen with like La Rosa and Tydell or Auburn?
You could choose those as the other +1s. There were
How
2
many do
other...
we have to get out?
You can choose 2 members of the group to get a promotion. Auburn you can't because she's a higher level than you.
Got you.
but we can choose those two later on, probably.
Yeah.
But I
Liros
think
and Idel are top on my list, so to get it.
I think that pretty much concludes book 1.
Wow.
Well, it was fun playing with you guys. Enjoyed
Did
the
you-
rest of Iron Fang Invasion.
Did
I'll
you
be
really write
watching
that
on
song
Twitch.
Yes,
since you saw her leave?
I wrote that song about the time I started writing it about when Aaidan and Oran were finishing up their conversation.
Oh my gosh, Andrew.
I wrote the ballad about their camp fight during right after the fight happened too. Like I
Told
don't.
you. My boy's got talent.
I gotta
Skills,
keep it. I gotta keep it
skills.
like an impromptu bard would. You know, he's gotta be
Yo.
spitting them.
You
Yeah.
are
them rhymes
100%
right away.
bard.
So, moving forward as we go into book 2, basically, I'm thinking. 1 second.
But thank
How
you.
That's
dare
about
you.
what I thought. So,
8 days.
6
6.
days are gonna pass between now and book 2. You've got those days to do what you will. I kind of imagine that Aaidan would occasionally go out and scout the area every once in a while, as he is a ranger. Ulret would probably be there lifting people's spirits that whole time. And I didn't know if you guys had anything specific you wanted to do, like projects for the caves, but the conclusion of book 1 has some things here. Basically, without all these hobgoblins hunting them, the refugees finally have some time to settle down and make the caves a new home. They throw themselves into cleaning and refitting these troglodyte caves to make them more comfortable. They gather fragrant herbs to dispel the lingering stench.
Yes.
And with their concerted effort, the caves lose the troglodyte musk and are filled with homemade furniture.
White
and
tea and citrus scent.
yeah, and resource stores to keep the refugees going for at least a few months. The Hemlock Banner is still standing proudly at the entrance to this cave. And Oran, over this time...
I'm proud of the banner, all right? I'm proud of the banner.
Immediately where my head went was like, we were so critical of that banner.
I just see
So
every
critical.
time Aaidan walks past that banner, there is a smug look on his face, like, yeah, that's us.
He takes
We're
the level in
Hemlock.
Cavalier.
We will not move. We will not be shaken. Our roots run deep.
I'm sure the lizard people said the same thing.
He's like, I've been
Yeah.
having dreams of this guy named Elwood, and he's really teaching me a lot.
Oran, during this time, would step forward, and she kind of christens the caves as and names them Mist Home, Misthome, as kind of a play on both the persistent mists on that lower level of the cave, and also the homonym of Mist Home, Missed Home.
Right.
Aww.
Aw.
And
Taking a
you guys
downer
can
on
actually
that.
see in the journal I have made. They give little statistics for Mist Home. You can
Ooh.
actually see that now in the journal there for book 2.
Crime is the -2 now that Oran's gone.
Yeah, all that information isn't really important. It's just that's what you're working with.
Oh,
You've
they
got a
actually
small little hamlet of a
Wow.
society
Just
here.
caught that. You're a jerk. Now that-
-3
Now
loss.
that
That was
Oran's
to-
gone,
That was totally in character.
crime is way down.
Oof.
I was a scummy person. Stupid gods.
Oran and
So-
Nyari start as buddy cops and end up being the wet blankets that leave.
Yeah, right?
So, are there any specific projects you want to do about the caves that you want to go over in session, or you kind of just want to talk about what your characters, the 3 of your characters that are still here?
Hey everybody, this is Ulret
would
and
do.
welcome to Extreme Makeover Cave Edition. Say it with me. Move that boss. That's some
So
nostalgia for some of y'all.
I know. It's totally nostalgic.
I probably should have talked to you about this a little bit earlier, Jace, than right
Yep.
now. But it's because I'm
That is
still...
why I sent out a message asking several days
I'm
ago.
still... Yeah. I'm still conflicted on whether or not it would matter because I didn't think I was going to do it. I was debating retraining my class feature to get an animal companion, but I don't think that that is something that has come up yet. I just think that his bond with his companions may not be what it once was. So I was thinking maybe he'll establish one with a new group of people who hopefully come in and help him. Or I could see him selecting something else. But there was no animal involved in his life yet, except for the horse. So I was just going to leave that aside, but something that I was thinking about, just so you know the direction that I'm considering as a heads up. But otherwise, I don't think there's any projects, like you said, just ranger things.
Okay.
He is the
Wonder when we'll meet Sarah's backup.
I don't have one.
Never. It's actually just the three of you for the rest of the campaign.
Oh,
I was being
actually-
serious when I said goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, no. Actually, we intended to replace a cast member. Sarah's leaving the show. Thank you for your hard dedication to work for so long. We really appreciate having you here. It's sad, but a joyous time.
So, Aaidan, as your one thing I did want to do while this time period goes on, and I imagine every once in a while you would go scouting out or hunting for food or something like that. Roll me a perception check.
Just a perception.
Yep.
4 higher for goblins, 2 higher for magical beasts.
Okay. While you're out hunting one day, you come across what appear to be a pack of 3 wolves that are lying on the ground dead. And
A whole pack? Oh, of
three out of probably maybe a larger pack. Maybe they were just like a splinter of a larger pack. You don't know. But you find 3 wolves that are just dead in the forest, maybe a mile or 2 away from the caves. You get a bit closer to them, and you can tell with your perception they have those same 5-clawed wounds on them.
Huh. Strange. He does obviously the standard fare of investigating the scene, looking around. Does he get signs of lycanthropy? Can you detect that somehow? I don't know.
You can roll survival to look for tracks. You could roll a knowledge local to see if you notice these claws as lycanthropic.
I don't have knowledge local, and lycanthropy. They're not magical beasts, right? They're changelings?
What? Where? Lycanthropes?
Yeah.
It
weird.
depends on what the original creature was. Generally, they're humanoid.
Right. So I would need knowledge local.
Yes.
So I can't do that. So I don't know.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to tell if these are like a were-rat or a werewolf or something like that.
Sure.
But with 23 survival, you do see tracks, humanoid bipedal tracks, leaving this scene. You follow them about 10 to 15 feet, and they just kind of disappear. But you're kind of looking, and you do see a trail of blood that continues where those tracks were headed. Do you follow that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What else are you gonna do? And then Aaidan dies, and then I'll just bring in my backup. It's fine.
You follow these tracks for 500 or 600 more feet. This blood trail, and at that point, you start seeing humanoid footsteps again.
So there was just a blood trail, like drip, 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 or like drag, drag, drag.
Like dripping of blood.
Drip, drip, drop, little blood shower.
Some creature was wounded enough that it was bleeding while it was walking away from this scene.
But there were no footprints there.
There were footprints for about 10 feet, and then they kind of disappeared. And as you followed the blood trail, you eventually found the tracks again.
Okay.
but there was a gap of distance there. Had the blood trail not been there, you probably never would have been able to continue it at all.
So Aaidan knows that he's pretty good at covering his tracks. Does he think that, maybe he just missed it last time and a ranger better than him had concealed where they'd gone,
You probably don't. Like, there was no blood trail last time.
So you don't get the sense that it's because a ranger would know to not drip blood if they were trying to be secretive about it.
Yeah, you don't get the sense that this is like a ranger, like somebody who is used to traveling in the forest, hiding their tracks, and all that stuff. Whatever this 5-clawed creature is, it is able to somehow basically erase its tracks, but given that they reappeared, it must be only for a certain distance. So how far are you going to, like, once you find those tracks again, are you going to keep following them until you get closer to what this thing might be?
I think so. I don't think he's got anything else. He's only risking his own life, and he doesn't care about that anymore, so.
Okay.
All his friends are gone, Oran.
So you follow these tracks in the Fangwood, and eventually roll another perception.
I take 20. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, that's not a good roll.
So you don't notice this until you're basically right on top of it. You eventually see what appears to be a small camp.
Oh, shoot.
You're kind of like by a tree, looking in, and you see like a small, like, makeshift fire, and like maybe a stone that's been pulled up as a seat or something. But you don't notice that till you're like right on top of it.
Do I get spotted, or he
mites.
ducks behind a tree or something as soon as he realizes how close he is and might be threatening someone on accident?
You can try to roll a stealth check, but it's going to be a difficult one given how close you were to the camp before you realized where you were.
Absolutely. It's going to be, let's see here. Nope, I don't get it on my favorite enemy bonus, but I do get it for being in the forest. So go ahead and do that. 23.
Okay. You kind of duck behind a tree and ears out or open, listening, kind of looking. You don't immediately know if you've been spotted or not, but a couple seconds pass and you do hear something.
You start to hear guttural hissing.
What?
It's
Guttural
almost
hissing?
like,
What does that sound like, Sarah? Can you try it
no,
out?
I can't. I'm not.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
no,
like,
no, try it.
it's almost like something is speaking to you.
It's very bestial.
Like a magical beast?
No, no,
And
it's
where to
not,
find them?
And where to find it? Bam!
it's not primal.
Can I
but-
take a sense? So it sounds a little bit more than animal, if that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Can I get a sense motive, a wild empathy,
You can roll a perception.
a perception will do.
Is Aaidan a druid now?
Okay.
28.
So with a 28, you can pinpoint the direction that this voice is coming from.
But it
And
sounds
it's
like a
getting
voice
closer.
then.
It is actively getting closer to you. But you
But
don't
it's-
see anything.
It sounds like a voice.
It sounds like a voice. Like it's not like a mindless rambling. Like there is logic to the intonation.
Right, it has language structure. It's
Yeah, it's
gibberish
just
to
it's
me, but I can
structured.
tell. Yeah.
You just have no idea what it's saying, and it's getting closer to you, but you don't see anything around you.
So he's gonna reveal his location, not being secretive anymore, and he's gonna kind of, Same introduction he had with the rest of the group. Throw his hands up. I'm not looking for any. Oh, he says. No,
Just kill me.
it's not an exact duplicate. But as he turns around, he'll ask, "Do you speak common?" And what does he see when he, looks at it?
You don't see anything.
Oh, that's creepier.
Oh gosh.
Well, well, well. What's a man like you doing out here in the middle of the forest?
I would normally be inclined to offer such information, but I have to ask, exactly where are you?
I'm right next to you.
I do not feel so comfortable talking to one I cannot see.
The voice is definitely coming from like 10 feet to your left.
He turns to look.
There's nothing there.
Oh, creepy.
Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
This is where I die.
What brought you to my camp?
I saw the wolves. Was it you that killed them?
Perhaps.
I had seen your trail earlier too. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm not sure I have ever met one of your kind. And if you are hiding where you step, you are very good at it.
Oh, I'm sure you've met one of my kind before. I'm not unlike yourself.
I don't mean to be rude, but what are the claws then? I saw the mark of a beast.
Oh, that's something I picked up from my grandfather. I've been practicing, trying to get better with them.
He's smiling now. Oh, I knew one who could turn into a beast too.
It's Oran's half-sister.
He was a good friend of mine. Are you a druid then?
Oh, I'm not anything so simple as a druid.
I wouldn't call my friend simple. He was a good person though.
Do you really think a druid like that would go around killing wolves?
Some. I didn't mean any harm, and I hope I haven't bothered you too much.
I'm not bothered. I'm just curious. I thought I was out here by myself, and I thought I did a pretty good job of covering my trails, but lo and behold, there's a stranger in my camp. Kind of shocked me there. Had to down a quick potion. Not used to seeing you out here. I haven't seen anybody not but goblins and hobgoblins for weeks.
I promise I mean you no harm. If you know about the goblins and the hobgoblins, then you know why I am here. There is a town called Phaendar. I don't know if you have heard it.
I've heard of it, yes. I was going to stop by, actually.
You're not going to believe this, I know. I didn't the first time I heard. But there is a giant black tower that was summoned out of nowhere. And Phaendar is gone. It's fallen to the hands of hobgoblins. I've never seen anything like it. And that's not the only place, too. Gristledown is an ash. There is nothing.
So while you're talking, all of a sudden appearing in front of you about 10 feet away is a tall man with very pale skin and jet black hair. And he's standing there with his arms crossed, just kind of watching you. And he'll look down and be like, ah, shoot. That didn't last as long as I thought it would. Well, here I am. See, like I told you, not so different from yourself. But what's this about Phaendar? You said it's gone?
Yes. And there aren't more than a few dozen survivors left. And even some of those we have lost.
You didn't think a town like Phaendar would fall?
I don't think anyone did.
And you said it was hobgoblins that took it over.
He nods.
That's a right shame.
All
You
right,
said there's
shame.
there's a bunch of survivors. Where are you staying? This forest is dangerous.
We stay in caves. We have recently named it Mist Home. A little on the nose, I'll admit, but the people needed something.
Oh, I guess I should explain one other thing, just because you asked and you've answered my questions. All of a sudden, he'll kind of like make a motion and his hands will turn into claws. Says something, call it a family heirloom that I got. Can't do it very much, but
Guys, I can't proselytize if you keep interrupting. She'll learn the way of true freedom in a moment. All right.
he's just a missionary for freedom. Have you heard of our Lord and
my
Savior
religion
freedom?
called
Freedom?
freedom?
He's
You
a
have
he's a
moment to
freedomist.
Talk about true freedom.
He likes to spread freedomism to people.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a dragon in these parts?
I have not.
Huh.
Are you a
What?
dragon hunter?
Well, yeah, I am actually.
By the gods! I have never met someone so... I will use the word courageous.
Well, let's just say I've got a bit of them in my blood, and I'd like to test my mettle against them.
You
Can't
will
be that
forgive-
hard, can they?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, you will forgive me for being cautious. I have had many chance encounters in the Fangwood that have gone south. What is your name?
My name's Kieran. What's your name?
Josh's mind just exploded.
I don't explain to a newbie like
No,
me what it
nobody else would understand it. Yeah.
Nobody else would understand.
New and improved. So
Con-
Kieran is the very first Pathfinder character that I made, who ended up being the epitome of brood. And so I was like, all right, I did him a dirty, so I'm gonna bring him back and make him completely different and not be like a jerk who
That's
my
awesome.
God.
yeah.
This is
So
funny.
basically he once tricked Sherman's character into thinking that a vial of oil was a healing potion just because he thought it would be funny, and I'm like, that's
To be fair, it was funny. Sherman still talks about it to this day.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh man, those were different times though. Different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our first game, Josh was GM.
We learned a lot.
I refer
We'll
to them
see.
as the Dark Ages, the era of homebrew and terror.
Yep. We will see if this Kieran's any better.
I hope so. Offensive
I hope so,
to
too.
myself only. Oh, for lack of context, that sounds really mean. But you guys, you weren't there. You don't know.
Well, listen. Do you want to sit down and have a meal together?
Sense motive.
Okay.
That
Sarah,
sounds like
you
a-
can roll me a,
That sounds like
Would
a
you like
great
an
idea.
apple?
you can
I
roll
found
me
a bag of
bluff if you'd
apples.
like.
I was like, oh god, it's happening again.
It really is how I die.
York's a shape changer.
Aaidan, there is literally nothing suspicious about this encounter whatsoever.
I do not know why. But Kieran, how do you say your name?
Kieran.
Kieran. I have a strange sense of familiarity with you. I will join you for a meal.
Well, I don't really have much to eat. I'm sorry, that was more of a formality, but if you want to eat a hard piece of bread, I might have one of those in my pack.
I have my own. I have 3 rations with me.
Oh, I do have some wine, though. I do like a good wine. Do you
I
drink?
Not much, but I
How
will
old
go
are
with
you? I'm sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions. I never got your name, actually.
Aaidan.
Aiden. That sounds awfully like mine. Where are you from? Are you from this area?
I was born in Tamrin, but I grew up in near Mathis,
Hi.
Phaendar, and elsewhere.
Well,
What about
come have a
yourself?
seat.
Where are
Oh.
you from?
I'm from Absalom. I've come quite a way.
The city of Absalom.
Aye.
What brings you to the forest of the Fangwood of near Mathis? That's so far away.
Huh, like I told you, I'm hunting dragons. I heard there's dragons up in Frisia. But to get there, you gotta go through the Fangwood. And then I heard rumors that there's actually dragons in the Fangwood. And I thought, well, what an opportunity then. Maybe I can start with the small ones here, work my way up to the big ones, you know?
I imagine them talking together as he goes and, takes a seat at whatever little campfire or something that they set up.
I hate to be a bother. Do you happen to have any tea with you?
Let me check here. I don't know. I don't think I do, actually. I've got chocolate. You want a piece of chocolate? I've
No,
got wine. That's about all I drink outside of water.
To be honest, I don't drink it much myself. Just a friend of mine did, and I kind of thought it would be nice to think of him. Why are you hunting dragons?
Well, they're some of the most powerful creatures, aren't they?
He nods and with a shrug, like, yeah, so.
Think of it. Think of the renown that you could have going back to the city with a dragon's head. Not many people could claim to do that now, could they?
So you seek glory?
In a manner of speaking, I guess.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He
That's
takes his
my cell
magical
phone.
device.
I've never had service out here before. It's kind of odd. It would go off right now.
That 5G, it goes everywhere. It's crazy.
They must have put up a new tower.
Well, listen, I don't mean to pry into your personal matters, but if you've got a place that's nice to sleep at other than out here in the forest, I would love to have something more comfortable than this hard ground.
I can offer a place to stay, but I have to be honest with you. We're doing well now, but we are still trying to survive, and we are fighting these hobgoblins. So I can offer you a place, but
He thinks over how to say this, being a man of true freedom.
A cleric,
like a
one
cat.
might say. A cleric of true freedom.
I think that you might have to help the camp if you stay with us.
What do you need help with?
He kind of pauses. Book 2 to start.
Well,
How
we're
are
about
you
to
with a
go into
broom?
book 2 of this adventure, and we might need help fighting. All the book 2 stuff.
All that. No, but for real, he
Dragons?
explains the
Nonsense, there haven't been any dragons around these parts for 1,000 years!
No, he explains the plan to visit one of the locations where the Chanasardo Rangers live, and that we do not feel safe. We're safe now, and the people are really making the caves their home.
But the way I see it, we cannot stay at the caves forever. So when that day comes, I don't know. But just do your part while you're here.
I can do that. As long as you promise me that there'll be some fighting, because I've got a long way to go before I feel like I can fight a dragon.
I can promise you fighting. whether or not I want it to be true, Gorham is praised these days.
Hey, you
Yeah.
worship Gorham?
He shakes his head no. I do not care for war or battle. It just happens to be my way of life at the moment. I dream of peace for Nermathis. I do not like the idea of endless struggle. But I am realizing that is a dream. Far from ever, maybe.
And he takes a sip of whatever you gave him.
You instantly
It's
die from
very-
poison.
I was gonna say, and you're asleep, and it turns into a centaur.
Oh,
It is
York?
oh no.
very, very good wine.
Foolish.
On the dry side, but it's good
That's
stuff.
all right. I mean, I wouldn't appreciate the dryness so much as I would, but you know, he'll drink it. He's more of a mead fan.
Is Aaidan even of age to
Wait.
drink?
When I said mead, I meant cider. He likes cider, hard ciders. No, Aaidan is 18, so technically, in some
What?
countries, yeah, Aiden's really young. He's the youngest player. I think I've played a 17-year-old once, but he's pretty darn young.
Rowan's 18.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I shouldn't have encouraged you to drink that if you're so young. You look a bit older to me. Must be the weariness of the world on your face.
Yeah, for the first time, he really feels like he's finally been able to loosen up, you know, and take a jab and laugh that he looks older and that kind of thing. I do have such a punchable face.
And you notice with Kieran that he is impeccably clean. Like, impeccably clean.
If you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
I am a few months into my 23rd year. So I'm not that far off from you, but I've seen a few more years than you.
That really is a weird way of speaking. Is that how they talk in Absalom?
Must be, because that's where I'm from.
I don't doubt you. I've never been anywhere beyond the forests in Nermathis. Maybe one day I could see more of the world.
It's a big
That-
world.
But I am needed here.
That's a noble goal that you have there. Putting the needs of others above yourself. I can't say I'm that noble, but I respect that from you.
He smiles. Maybe in time, you will.
And I'm sure they just gab the night away until they go back to the cave.
Yeah, you
Question
you spotted that wolf encounter a mile or two away from the caves, followed it for probably another half a mile, so you're not that far from the caves. So you could chat for a while and then head back and be there in like maybe half an hour. Probably way less than that. You're really close. That would have happened probably one of the later days of that time period. Skipping forward, unless there's other scenes that you guys want to do, skipping forward, I was going to go to the next scene would be Auburn kind of taking all of the people of the cave and kind of having a discussion about next steps. But
Yeah.
I don't know if
For,
there's any other any other scenes you guys before that.
I think we should, just because Andrew is reacting to it, we should mention Absalom is pretty darn far away, actually. From
It's to the
Veriz-
south.
Verizia is also quite a
Oh.
ways.
Yeah, would switching back to
And-
Oberyn be while Aaidan is meeting with Kieran, or is this later when they would have
It's
come
another
back?
day, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess to get to Verizia, you've got two ways, because you could have gone taken a boat through the inner sea, you know what I mean, and gone along and run south of Cheliax. You could have also gone north through. There's a river between Almas and the other not the Black Sea, the lake that's above Malthun.
Lake in Carthan.
Yeah, and then you could have gotten there and then gone east from there through near Mythos across the holds of Belkzen, and then if I'm remembering correctly, and then south through that area, you'd finally be. After you go west and a little south, you'd finally be in Barizia.
And I don't think he mentioned coming directly from Absalom. He just said that he was from Absalom.
Right.
So you don't know. He could have come any route.
Right. Right. And who knows? He's just chasing dragons. So.
Yeah. So you guys make it back to the cave. Any scenes you wanted to do there? You said, Josh?
As you walk in, though, as soon as the mushroom goes off, he's gonna be like, "By Avatar, what is that?"
Aaidan is laughing at him.
I'm sorry about that. We use it as an alarm. We don't have any spellcasters to cast it.
You ought to warn me next time. It almost gave me a heart attack. Was not expecting that, but I can see where it comes in handy.
You get used to it.
And I can imagine an NPC being like, "No, you don't," as he's working on something.
It's like in the middle of the night, somebody leaves to go to the bathroom. It's just like, ah!
Oh.
Okay. So if there aren't any other scenes, then we can skip ahead to the kind of like a meeting that Oran has. She would probably first go to Aaidan and ask him. She'd be like, "Aaidan, I think it's about time that we start talking about our next steps here, trying to gather some allies. I know that a lot of things have happened this past week with people leaving and whatnot. And just so you know, at this point, Jin and Isla would have left in the night.
Our total survivor count has dwindled. Actually,
Yeah,
not
I think
an
you're still.
insignificant amount.
I think you're still over 30. But you definitely have lost a few.
Has anyone else splintered off, or has everyone else been pretty much sticking with us?
Everyone else is still there, other than Oran left, Nyari and Ilika, Theros, Jin, and Isla. So I think it's just those 6.
And Volus.
Oh, don't.
Too soon.
soon.
Too soon.
So she continues. She says, "I know that things have kind of changed here quite a bit. I don't know if you have anybody else that you can trust to go out with you, scout out the area to try to find any other rangers. Like I was saying before, I only know where the one fort is, Fort Nunder. This is the one that I trained at. It's a bit too far to have the whole group of us go out all at once, but a select few maybe could go out and scout the area, make sure it's a safe journey there. But I don't know with how things have gone if you're aware of anybody."
Oh, I'd be happy to go out. I'm tired of being stuck up in these caves. I'm itching for an adventure. Frampton, you in with me, lad?
Oh, am I there? I'm sorry, I was reading something else. What's happening? I'm sorry, I was reading something else. I wasn't paying attention.
How dare you?
I know, I'm a monster.
Is Ulret there? I think he is. I mean, he can be.
If he's in the same chamber as Oran, he could be eavesdropping.
What did Oran say?
Oran basically walked up to Aaidan and was saying, "It's about time. Go to next steps and find allies." The only allies that she can think of in the area are the Chernosardo Rangers, and she knows one of their forts, but it probably would be best to have a group go scout a path there.
Oh.
So she's basically just asking Aaidan if he's willing to go, and if so, if he can think of anybody to take with him. And Ulret, overhearing this, kind of jumped up.
Oh,
and-
okay. So yeah,
Told you as well.
Frampton, grab your bag. We're going on an adventure.
oh, I'm down for a bit of mischief.
Aaidan's got a curl of a smile on him.
I thank you for your help. And he looks to Nyari. What I said is true. I feel like there is strength among us. I will look for volunteers to go with me. And Ulret, you can come.
What about me then?
He walks over and extends an arm.
Frampton, was it, right?
Aye, that's right.
You're feeling better.
Oh, tip top.
He extends a hand.
Frampton just happily takes it. He hugs Aaidan.
Then I'm glad to have you. Anyone that will stick around.
Oh, got nothing better to do.
He sighs.
What about that other companion of yours you brought in the other day?
Actually, he might be up for it. He's a bit of a glory hunter from what he talks.
Oh, I'm itching to see what he's capable of.
I think that you will like him, Ulret. He's kind of
God,
God.
it's so edgelord. Good God.
Anime pro tag. Anime pro tag.
Yeah.
I
Look
had
at me.
one that was way worse, and I
Wait,
went with this one instead.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
I see your character doing this all the time.
Yeah.
I get
This.
the like
Hair.
flipping his hair all the time. Like,
What do they call it? Chunboyo or whatever.
yeah.
One of those.
Chunibyo.
Yeah, that.
Holy cow! Oh my gosh, he's such a. Oh, it's,
Yeah,
it's so much.
she had a little bit of a hard time.
That was
Oh, I
great.
can
I
Um,
think that you're going.
He
The wrong
strikes
direction
me
there
as
for a bit.
I think you
strikes me as
should-
more of like a Final Fantasy protagonist.
Absolutely. I was gonna say I'm getting like Devil May Cry feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. That too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Devil May Cry energy, which I think works because they're self-aware. So I think Sarah, you just gotta lean into the edgelord this time. You know, just be
No,
like,
I don't. I'm specifically trying to get away from that. So I will not be edgelord.
I guess you'll just be the cool protag, just like cool McGee. You're too cool for anything. It's gonna work. It's gonna be great. This is a great group. I'm
It's gonna
excited.
take off. It's gonna take off.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Kieran.
Kieran.
so the four of you kind of gather there as Auburn's talking, and she kind of nods as she's looking at each of you. And she says, "All right, well, I don't have the best of directions, but I can give a kind of a vague map, I suppose, from memory. It's been a few years." And she kind of starts explaining that the fort that she knows the location of, Fort Nunder, is to the west. I guess you could say it's basically due northwest of here, of your current location. I can actually move you to a different map here that you can look at. It's not going to be a hex map like the last one,
Whoa.
but this is basically what you're looking at. I've fog of ward all of the Fangwood, so beyond that is visible. But you're down in the bottom right, and you've got to go pretty much northwest to get to Fort Nunder. She explains that her best guess is that you've got 30 to 40 miles distance that you'd have to go before you were to get there.
Okay.
What's it called? Fort what?
Fort Nunder, Nunder.
DER. Thank you.
None your business.
Fort none to your business. Yeah.
Business.
Oh man, this is exciting.
This sounds like quite the journey. I'm excited about it. I haven't had companions in quite some time.
By the way, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Ulret. I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
I don't believe we have, Ulret. You're a cheeky little fellow.
Oh, don't mind him. He gets overlooked quite a bit.
Oh, now that was pretty bad, my friend.
You can
Oh,
say
you're
it was
not-
a low.
You'll have to pardon my friend Frampton. He gets a bit jealous when I get more of the women's attention than he does.
Well, I can certainly see why you do. You're a handsome fellow. Don't
Oh,
worry
thank
about
you.
me, though. I enjoy the women as well, so you don't have to worry about anything coming from me.
Oh.
Aiden's
I-
just like, I'm with a bunch of miscreants.
He just realized how good he had it, despite all of the betrayal with his
Suddenly,
companions.
suddenly, I regret my choices.
I think this is going to be great, you guys. I cannot wait to hear all about the things that you guys have done. I'm sure you've got lots of good stories to share.
I do love spinning a good tale, and if you have any, I'd love to hear them.
Oh, me, no. I have not done anything special in my life.
Oh, nonsense. You've come all the way from Absalon, from what Aaidan has been telling us.
Well, it's not all the glory that you think it is. It's kind of a boring city, which is why I left in the first place.
Well, for many of us who've not even left near Mathis, it's still exciting to hear from places that far away. Sights we've
That's a
never
good-
seen, people we've never met, beasts, creatures, spells we've never even heard of. I'm sure you've got something to share.
Yes,
Well-
Ulret.
That brings up a good point. If you're so interested in all of those things, why haven't you left near Mothis before?
Oh, that's my goal, but we've had a bit of a troublesome time leaving this place due to, I'm sure Aaidan's filled you in on our ordeal in Phaendar.
Yeah, quite a bit. It was a bit of a shock to me. I wasn't expecting that. I've heard of Phaendar before, and I was going to stop there to gather supplies, but I'm glad you stopped me before I got too far. I can't imagine I would have had a good time against all those hobgoblins.
That's not anybody's picture of a festival, is it?
You know, it's strange. Are you sure you've never been outside of Near Mothis before? Because your accent sounds awfully similar to mine in some ways.
Well, I might have picked up some colloquial differences in my travels. I've talked to many different kinds of people, including people from outside of Near Mathis.
I wouldn't say this, but I want him to be like, wait, you have an affected accent? You're faking it?
Fair enough, fair enough. I won't question that. I just thought it was odd, but maybe that's just how people in these parts speak.
Oh, nobody talks like I do. But that's part of what being a bard is all about. Embellishing the stories. And picking up the little bits of culture you find here and there.
Hi, so you're a bard then? That's quite interesting. So
One
you,
might say he weaves tall tales.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's a
like
good
you.
one, Frampton.
I am gonna like you.
I think
This is gonna be
Aaidan
fun.
exchanges a glance with Oberon while this is all going on. Like, yes, we'll do the thing. Like, yeah, don't. It's fine.
She nods back and she says, "All right, well, just let me know what you find."
Well,
I
Aaidan, I will defer to you. You are the de facto leader of this party, I'm sure. I go where you tell me to go. I just am looking for a good fight.
think Aaidan just can't help but laugh at that again, just because of it's the exact opposite of what he wants to be reality, and then also how much he fought certain stubborn party members in the past to cooperate. And I think he's just like, this is going a little too easily this time around, but we'll see, is I'm sure in his head. I see him as having stepped up a little bit to be aware of what's going on in the camp, as far as what Kyning is doing, what Veld is doing, as annoyed she is with him, I'm sure, what different survivors have been crafting and getting together. And I see him having like a final scene with Jet to like thanking her for the meals that she's prepared, and makes a pass saying like, I'll miss your cooking, but I'll be back in time, that kind of thing. Does the pleasantries and is more sociable than is historically true with anyone from Phaendar. He was normally a bit of a loner. So,
Okay. So, I guess you would maybe head out the next morning. And okay. As you guys wake up the next morning and start preparing, I would like Frampton and Aaidan to roll fortitude saves real quick.
wait, Frampton wasn't feeling better?
No, he's feeling better. Like he's been healed up over this
I
time.
said,
It's
did
been
I
a week
catch
or
the
so.
COVID?
But this is something else. I'd like you guys to roll fortitude saves on. Okay.
Just the two then.
Whoa.
23 and a
Oh my
20.
gosh.
20s.
Back to back nat 20s.
So yeah,
Um,
forget that plot hook.
oh.
Next.
You guys wake up and you feel like itchy, kind of like all over your body. You feel a little itchy. Roll a perception check, both of you.
Swear to God, if
Did you
Sarah's
bite
new
me?
character is a vampire and she bit me, I swear to God.
Please.
-2 on my perception because I'm not in the
Lice?
forest.
Okay.
presently.
Oran, you notice.
Not Oran, I'm Frampton.
Frampton.
Man.
You should update your. You should
Gotta
update
change your
name.
handle.
Oh,
That's gonna
sorry, I
take-
will change it. Yes, I will.
Yeah. Frampton, you notice on your bedroll there's some fine gray powder, and as you're touching it, like it's immediately starts feeling itchy on your fingers. That's all you notice.
Oh.
But you both are able to kind of like brush off, and
I have
eventually,
craft alchemy. Can I do a check to see if
I didn't look over.
you know
at-
what? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Craft
I didn't look
alchemy.
over at Ulret.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Ooh,
That's not good.
wow, nice. This is definitely some type of alchemical item, but you're a bit too distracted by the itching sensation to focus on it enough to figure out what it is exactly.
Aiden doesn't say
collect a
anything.
bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just collect a small sample to look at later.
Okay.
Doesn't make any accusations, but is watching Ulret out of the corner of his eye to see how he reacts to us finding this and not being, deathly itchy or whatever.
Okay.
It just kind of looks over.
Okay.
Perception
You
or
can pranks
sense
again?
motive?
You can roll a
Thanks.
sense motive.
I can do that. Does he get the
So-
sense that this was a stupid prank, or is there something more nefarious potentially afoot?
1 second.
Apologize.
So
I'm listening
Aiden
so
thinks it
loud.
was Ulret, right? Is that what we're saying?
I'm not sure he does. I think that
'Cause
he might.
Frampton is suspicious of Kieran because he spent time in the forest with Ulret.
That's true.
So he would be suspicious of Kieran more than anything. So
Yeah, roll
I'm
that
gonna
sense motive.
I'm gonna sense motive on Kieran.
And then they can roll 2 bluffs, and then we'll never know if it
Yeah.
was needed or not.
Ulrich and Kieran, both of you guys roll a
A bluff.
a
yeah.
bluff check.
Oh. Shoot.
Frampton, you're looking over at Kieran and kind of like trying to see if he reacts. He's not even looking your direction. Like he's not paying attention to this at all.
He's casting a spell right now.
You get the sense that he doesn't even know what's happening.
Kieran rolled a 9.
Aiden, you were rolling against Ulret. You're looking over in his direction.
Is
You
it
don't.
opposed checks? I don't know. I don't remember how this resolves.
Yeah, I think the DC is set by the bluff. So
Right, I
you're
think
looking over in his direction. It's really hard to tell, but for a brief moment, you feel like he was looking at you. But like as soon as you look in his direction, like he's like doing his own thing.
I didn't collect some of it.
Okay.
That's the end of that.
So sus, man. Jeez.
Huh.
And
It's the kids. I swear it's the kids.
Kieran,
And with that,
and I like it.
Do,
you
Brandon
guys
likes
can-
do
pranks.
Ulret or like would Ulret notice them acting suspiciously or weird in any way? I guess.
Yeah, or would
perception
Kieran know
something?
Roll
what's
a-
going on?
yeah, you two can roll sense motives now.
Okay.
Can I roll a bluff because I'm being super secretive about it?
Sure.
This is fun. Not as secretive as I thought.
My 6
5.
sense motive beats your 5 bluff.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say you don't notice anything, but that bluff was actually lower.
Yeah, believe it or not.
So yeah, Kieran, you actually he wasn't looking at you, so you notice that Aaidan is kind of like eyeing Ulret. Ulret, you 100% like Aaidan is like looking, just like narrowed eyes in your direction.
Yeah, he doesn't turn away when Ulret does. He's still looking.
So I guess Ulret would just address Aaidan and be like, "What's going on there, my friend? You look a bit bothered by something."
Shakes his head now.
I don't think I'm bothered, Ulret.
And then
Well, Frampton certainly does. He looks like he's absolutely itching for an adventure.
He'll toss. Well, I was gonna say, mid that line, he'll toss the glass vial, kind of a little more forceful than what would be reasonable to catch, and then he'll kind of say, a little too late for him to respond. He's like, "Do you know what that is?" As it flies across the air.
Okay,
At
so
him.
you're okay. You throw that.
Can Ulret catch it? Like, do I have to roll something to catch it? Or is it
Roll
just...
You have to
a-
roll to catch it.
Roll a straight dexterity. Oh,
Ah,
wow.
shit.
Oh.
Oh shit! This is not how I wanted this to play out. I wanted to fumble with it and then still just barely get it.
He like you see Ulret latch out and he kind of grasps it by like the tip, and then like he moves it in the air just so that nothing falls out of it, and it's like perfectly catches.
If I detect magic, is it magic?
Nope.
Hmm.
Oh, I see. That's where I left my itching powder. Thanks for collecting it for me, my friend.
So then Frampton be like, I am itching for adventure. Oi, Ulret! Well, why don't tall people and short people date?
Ah, why is that?
Long distance relationships never work out.
Oh, well played, my friend. Well played.
Same
didn't
to
kinda-
you. And Frampton will have a sly grin because he doesn't mind pranks. He loves
They
pranks.
just kind of like
didn't-
high five each other.
Yeah.
Aaidan's looking over at Kieran and kind of just like, oh no. Like, what is this new group of people, man?
You know what? That reminds me of something I did on my older sisters one time. I put it in their bed, and they were itching all next day. It was the greatest thing I've ever done.
Kieran, are you a lover of pranks as well?
Well, I must confess, I really only did them against my sisters, but I can appreciate a good prank once in a while.
Oh, you've got to share with me some of your tricks you've played.
Well,
I hate to be a downer, but we should get going.
Oh,
Quickly.
please.
You can discuss your pranks on the way.
Yes, lead the way, Aaidan. Let's go.
Okay. So
And you can
guys,
continue your conversation if you wanted, because
Yeah, passively, Ulret would just be, prying Kieran to tell him all his secret tricks he played on his sisters, and offering the tricks he's pulled on Yosef in the past.
well, probably the worst one that I did to my sisters, and I got in a lot of trouble for this one, was one time they were sitting out on the porch drinking tea, and I went up on the balcony, and I had spent all the day before catching snakes. I put them in a bucket, and I dumped them over the railing right on their heads when they were
No.
drinking their tea. Oh, that was so great. They screamed for hours, and I got the whipping of a lifetime, but it was worth it. Every minute of it was worth it.
Oh, I like you, Kieran. I like you.
Aiden's trying to be serious, but he can't. You know, he'll crack a smile from time to time, but then kind of like do that overcorrection, like get serious again. You know, as he's going through.
Yeah. And you guys continue for a while, heading in the general direction that Oberyn had indicated. And you guys get a couple miles, 3 or so miles in that direction.
For context, I prepped the spells and cast the spells Nature's Paths, so we move twice as quick.
Ooh.
Okay. Yep. And roll everybody a perception check.
This ought to go well.
It's a 2. It's a 2 on the die.
So 25 from Ulret, 11 from Frampton, 18 from Kieran, and 21 from Aaidan.
Okay. So actually all of you would hear this. You guys are walking through the forest here, and you hear the splintering of wood. It sounds like a tree is being felled 100, 200 feet away from you guys, and a human-like screaming echoing through the forest. And it's very nearby. What do you guys do?
Heroes run to danger, so
Draw some weapons, yo.
Yeah, without skipping a beat. I mean, we all realize it. I think it's without words. We all know what way to go, which direction, and I take off. I don't know what the rest of the party does. But...
Yeah.
I roll hit
Or what's
points, so I don't only have 8.
Yeah, you can roll your hit points.
Oh, this is exciting. All right.
How many do I do? 5?
You
4.
are 5th level, so you would roll 4.
4.
Your first level is high. Yeah. Oh, that's some good rolls so far. Hey, that's above average. All right. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. You're on a D10.
So, and then, yeah, and your first one would have been full. So your con is 1, so you'd have those rolls plus 9.
On a D8. That's not bad, man. Wow.
Nice. Good. We needed
Yeah.
some of that. We needed padding.
Well, you're not getting it from me.
So I think
it's
that comes
so
out.
sad. No
I
more
think that comes
Nyari
out to
and Oran.
33. And both Kieran and Frampton would have 5 levels of favored class bonus that you could have done into extra hit points or extra skills or whatever your racial bonus is for that class. I'm not gonna force you to select those right now. But if you think you'd put some into HP, you can put some into HP. That's fine.
Yeah, I would have used 4 of mine for HP.
Okay. What does that put you at? 37? 30, something like that.
Yeah, hang on.
I'll put 1 into HP just to get me to an even
Yeah,
number.
37. Yep, 37.
And so
37.
I'll likely take the human favored class bonus for my class for the
Okay.
other 4.
What does that do? That gives you extra known spells, right?
Yeah.
And then my
That's really
other,
good.
I would have put into ranks.
Do we know
Okay.
yet
So
what
how do I do that?
class Sarah is?
Yeah, I do.
In order to put extra ranks, if you go to the configuration under the skill ranks area, you can just add
Yeah.
a miscellaneous
Oh,
number.
Dragonborn?
The specific
Okay.
number.
I do have that built in. I haven't said, but there have been hints.
Draconic
I know what
bloodline
it is
seems
because of
Dragonborn,
metagame.
would be my guess.
Yeah.
Dovahkiin, da-da-da-da-da-da.
So,
You there is a check to determine a character's class, isn't there? There's like an actual mechanical check somewhere.
I think it would
Is there?
follow under like knowledge local.
Well,
Yeah.
he did cast a spell when he first woke up. So if you wanted to roll a spellcraft while he was casting it to determine what he was casting, then
Yeah.
like,
For added lore context, I don't know if this extends to larger Galarian, but in the book that I'm reading, I have learned that sorcerers are normally, are normally very secretive about what class they are because there's a lot of stigmatism against it. I didn't mean to do that.
You're a monster.
You're a
I know.
monster, Josh.
I'm actually a
I'm-
monster.
You
Well,
are a monster.
I'm gonna have to inflict a permanent negative level.
I think
on
you
Aaidan.
could. I think that's the only fair retribution.
For no reason, sorcerers are really secretive about their class, completely unrelated to the
Nothing to do
conversation.
with the current
Nothing
situation,
to do
of
with
course.
first situation.
all.
Just
Just
a fun fact.
I just add that
Oh
in.
my gosh, I'm so sorry. But my point, however, was that it's not just them. There's a lot of reasons that a lot of people conceal the true nature of their powers. Clerics are are known to be secretive about their power,
And
wizards
assassins.
yes, and wizards sometimes disguise their skills as divine instead of arcane for a lot of interesting lore reasons. That was actually a main plot point in the book that I was reading that was set in Valarian, so that was pretty cool.
Okay. So you guys can see the little red outline.
Correct.
Go ahead and place yourselves however you like in that area.
I think I
Pretty happy where I'm at.
see myself in the front.
So, you guys approach this sound, the splintering of wood and the human-like screaming and whatnot. You start rushing in that direction, and you quickly come to a scene of two hulking creatures that are kind of like scraping at the base of a tree.
Ooh.
Aaidan, roll. Actually, no. I'm not even gonna need you to roll. You'll know.
No! Owlbears! Oh no.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Oh no.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. Aiden's gonna rage.
Aaidan, you see digging at the base of this tree two hulking creatures that probably instantly create flashbacks to you of a not pleasant time. And as you approach, I assume you guys weren't being stealthy as you were sprinting up to this noise. They kind of stop their digging, and one of them looks up in your direction, and as soon as it sees you, it roars out in a deafening, vibrating sound that rings in your ears. And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Are we in dim light?
This is in the Fangwood, so it would be dim light, yes.
+2 then
No,
to
I-
my initiative.
No, I'm sorry. I've got my thingamajiggy out. The iron torch. Because I would need it to see.
That's with my +2, Jason. So 16.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Can I say I would have had something cast if we were in the Fangwood and it was dim light? Probably not. Probably not.
It depends. What was it?
Dark vision.
well, Aaidan does have an iron torch circling above him, so you'd be
Okay,
able to
then
see.
I wouldn't have needed to.
Correct. Here we go. So 20.
See notes. I also have an iron torch for my initiative, a red one. Always floating up there.
So that was 20 for Aaidan. Frampton got a 16. Ulret got an 11. Kieran got an 18. Sort. Okay. Top of round 1.
Ooh, that initiative plays so nicely for Aaidan.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to give him a red and give him a blue. The red owlbear is going to go first.
Oh no.
Rolled a nice solid 23 initiative. It is going to charge at the nearest creature, which, imagine that, is Aaidan.
Imagine that.
It's going to charge at Aaidan and make a bite attack against him. Actually, no, it's going to make a claw attack. It's the
Okay.
first one listed. 1 claw against Aaidan with charging bonus.
Against my flat-footed AC.
Natural 20.
Hits.
Oh no.
I mean, there's a pretty good chance that would hit anyways, but 18 to confirm.
Confirms by 1. My
Ooh.
flat-footed AC is 17.
Oh, that's right, flat-footed. I forgot about that. So that does confirm. Okay. You take
30. No, it's just 1. So it's going to be what? 20 to 30 range?
You take 16 points of damage,
That's not bad at all.
and it will attempt to grapple you for free. That is that's a 33 against your CMD.
Hey guys, does anybody miss our old players?
Yeah, I
Like
really
immediately?
do.
Oran burst up through the earth. Nyari's swinging from a tree. Like, come on.
I'm so
Okay.
scared.
Grappled.
Yeah, Theros might have been able to like calm them down.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm
So-
not sure if he could have done that.
Oh
I
no.
I will give that one the grappled condition, and you as well are grappled. You're both grappled. And Aaidan, you're actually up next.
So he's gonna pull out the short sword.
Okay.
He's got one-handed, right?
Yep. Short sword's one-handed.
So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna give myself the grappled condition.
Yep.
And
Like I said, I'm not going to make you roll, but you would know these are magical beasts.
oh, I know exactly what they are. Actually, what's the roll to escape a grapple again? It's an opposed CMD.
You
Oh
roll
my.
a CMB against its CMD.
Right. Yeah. No, he's gonna roll an attack here.
Crikey, she's a beauty.
Can he rage? No, he's kidding.
If you want to lower your AC, why not?
It gained no mechanical bonuses.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Voluntarily just lower your AC for no reason.
All right. Let's see it.
Yeah.
23
Okay.
to hit.
23 will hit for 15 points of piercing damage.
Max damage on the short sword.
Okay. Noted. A good hit. It easily stabs into its hide.
Oh, power attack. Curses. I forgot it. Oh well.
What a shame.
I did a shame, but it's okay. I'll get it next time. Yeah, this way I made sure I got a hit in. I'm not worried about it.
Yep. And after that, it is Kieran's turn.
All right. I will cast a spell
Okay.
to hopefully help my squish.
Okay.
So that will be 1d4 plus 1. 4 images. Plus
Okay.
myself.
Okay. So there are now 5 Kierans occupying that space. Do you want to move at all?
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Like right here, for
No.
example?
No, I'm going to 5-foot step over here.
Okay. Next up, it is Frampton.
Can they attack of opportunity while grappled?
I believe the answer to that is no. I think we looked this up once.
Yes, they can, or no, they can't.
They cannot, even though it kind of makes sense that they might
No.
be able to.
No, they can't. Yes, we looked it up once, I think.
So,
that's
Josh,
off of memory.
does that change at all if they have multiple limbs to attack with? Like, it could bite while it's grabbing you with its claw. I feel would make sense.
I feel like that makes sense. Let me look it up real quick. But yeah, let me look it up.
For now, we'll say that he cannot make an attack of until
Okay.
Josh tells me otherwise, and then in the future we will go ahead with that.
So that's where I want to go then. Is that flanking?
I believe for flanking it is draw a center line from the center of you to your ally, and it has to cross opposite sides. So I don't think that would be flanking technically.
No, on the condition it says a grappler cannot.
So it'd have to be like here for him to flank.
You'd have to be one step to the right.
Yeah, or right.
You have to be opposite corner, basically. Yeah.
right. Nits. Okay. I stab at thee. Okay, so I two-hand fight. How does that work? I got a dagger in one hand and a rapier in the other.
First question: do you have two-weapon fighting?
Yes.
Then it is a -2 to both attacks, and you just roll them. However, you move to get there, so you can still only get one attack.
Oh, okay. Well then,
And
with
don't
the
take-
rapier.
And don't take the -2. And they're both light weapons, I assume.
Yes.
The rapier and dagger, yeah.
Oh my! 27.
27 will hit. That is a critical threat on a rapier.
Yep. The roll to confirm that.
I think maybe it just hasn't been programmed in to automatically know
Is
that
he
that's
flanking too?
No.
No.
You have to be opposite.
Oh, is it?
corner.
I have it set for critical range 20.
It's
Yeah, it should be 18.
Yeah,
18?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Roll another attack just to see if you would confirm, because this is a critical threat. Okay, so that would confirm. So I'll just take those 2 damages and add them together, because that's functionally what a crit would do. So
Okay.
that would be 14 points of
Nice.
damage on your critical hit against this owlbear.
Very nice.
Hey,
Okay.
A +8. That's coming in with what class are you? Yeah.
I'm a rogue. Shadow
You know, the funny thing about rogues is that
unrelated.
they
It was
are
honestly
very secretive and careful.
It was the worst slip up because like even in my I was gonna say in my head like make sure that you say just generalities. It was just too late.
Oh, and I get that from finesse training. Josh, my weapon is the rapier.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to get that flanking though, so you get that nice
That-
sneak attack.
Well, that's what I wanted, but I don't have enough move.
Yeah. So Frampton goes up, gets a pretty solid hit on it, and next up it is Ulret.
Ulret is going to begin his bardic performance of Inspire Courage.
I don't have that programmed in his buffs.
So everybody give themselves
Oh yeah, I forgot I missed my buffs.
What is it? Courage.
Competence bonus.
Within
+2
chat.
competence to melee. Oh, what he just did.
Is that how you type it?
Yeah, you can just copy and paste that.
Okay.
And then he's going to just take a 5-foot step to the right.
Okay.
He wants to stay within touch distance of Aaidan for a reason.
Okay, so you take a 5-foot step to the side there. Bottom of the round, it is owlbear number 2, the blue one. It is going to charge at Ulret.
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry. Ulret's not that squishy.
No, a little one.
So we'll roll an attack here.
He's a hardy
a
little
child.
halfling.
He's a child.
That is a 28.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, how hard is he? How hardy is he? Is
Not
he
that
28 hardy?
Are any of
take-
us that hardy?
No.
You take 10 points of damage, and it is going to attempt to grab you.
Tackling ram.
Oh my gosh. 32 against your CMD.
What do you think?
I think it probably succeeds.
Oh, I didn't get a full team kill in the first book. Let's do it in the first encounter of the second book.
I don't have a backup, Jason.
Yeah, I don't either.
Top of the round, it's the red one's turn again. It's going to do a full attack, I guess.
It's grappled.
Yeah, it's going to free action drop the grapple and do a full attack here. I will roll a die, because you both hit it for a decent amount of damage, so I'm going to roll a d6. Odds will be Aaidan, evens will be Frampton.
You could split it up too, technically.
Yep, the first one I rolled a 1, so the first attack is coming against Aaidan. This is not with the charging bonus, so that is only a 15 to hit.
No.
Next attack, same odds are Aaidan. Another 1, so a second attack is against Aaidan again. Now I'm rolling bad. That one's a 17 to hit.
No, I'm not grappled anymore.
Final one, rolled a 4 that time, so this one's against Frampton. This is the bite attack. That is a 18 to hit.
I don't think so, but let me double check. No, sir.
Okay. And then it is going to step over here to give it some space from its ally who is getting up, and it's right next to it. That is that one's turn. Next up, it is Aaidan. You are no longer grappled.
Can I get a straight intelligence check to... I know what they are, but can I try to learn something about them?
Sure.
All right.
Let's see what you rolled there.
I did.
I think.
Oh, no.
A 4! Yeah, you don't have any specific information about these creatures. I'll give you for free, you know they're owlbears, you know they're beasts. But you don't know anything particularly unique about them.
You can two-hand a short sword, can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I can do the power attack two-handed with it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. And it's a +1, so it doesn't completely outpace my greatsword, but no need to switch for no reason, you know. So I will. I can't set up flanking, can I? Not with a 5-foot step. But I don't have iterative attack. I don't have iterative attacks yet, so there's.
Yep. You don't know if they have reach, but you could try to move to be in a flanking position.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. That would avoid attacks of opportunity, if I'm not mistaken.
Assuming that they don't have reach.
Yeah.
You want to make that movement then?
Yeah.
Okay. They do not reach out to you. It seems that they do not have reach.
Okay.
Sneaky.
They have short little arms.
They're like T-Rexes.
Took a nice little chance. In that case, since I took a move, I will actually use my new ability called Quick Stow, and I will switch out the greatsword. This allows me, as part of a move action, to stow and draw in the same action. So I can pocket the short sword right back in the sheath and get out the greatsword as he swings around to hopefully behead this creature. That would be very cool.
Okay. Roll your attack.
Do it.
21 to hit.
21 will hit. 24 points of damage.
Nice.
Yikes. It is still up, but it is nearly collapsed.
Yep. That's what that'd be like.
That is Aidan's turn.
That how it do.
Kieran, it is your turn now. You have cast your...
Thank you. Gosh dang it. That's cool.
Alrighty. Yikes. So, seeing that Ulret's in trouble, he will...
Run away.
As he moves here, he will draw his glaive.
Wow, a glaive.
Yeah.
Fancy.
And he will attempt to hit the owlbear.
Okay.
I'm so
Roll an
nervous
attack.
to roll this because I don't want it to biff.
It is a...
your first
And then he rolled a natural one!
Seriously,
I knew it was gonna
seriously,
happen.
there's gotta be something.
So,
Nobody
I'll
more consistently rolls a 1 than Sarah.
First
I will-
roll of
I'll
the
just let you
campaign
know.
for this character.
I'll just let you know, it's grappled. It only had a 13 AC,
I
Oh
don't.
my goodness.
Roll 20 is not my friend.
but
I knew before I even rolled it, and I was like, if anything, I just don't want to roll a natural one.
you go to swing this out, and it kind of like backs up just out of reach, and your glaive hits the ground, unable to connect. That is your turn. We are now at Frampton.
Go Frampton.
Frampton comes alive.
Yeah, it's flanking.
I'm
Yeah, this is
flanking. So how do I calculate damage with my flanking in roll 20?
So you...
Because I
Flanking
wanted
is
to do it as I roll. You know what I mean? Like if I pull off the hit, I want it to go ahead and just do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, so you can, if I
Make a
open up your
damage
sheet here.
do called precision damage.
Yeah, so if you go, there's a thing right below that says damage 2. If you go, like, open up your weapon, you have damage 1d6, blah, blah, blah. And then below that, the next check down, you can actually write in, like, sneak attack as the damage name, and then put in what your sneak attack damage is. And then you can just click that box on or off whenever you get a sneak attack on, and it will have it show up or not.
How does the bonus dice no crit work? Because precision damage isn't added on a crit. Can you just put it in there?
Yeah, you can put it under the bonus dice no crit,
I would do
which
that.
is 2 lines down. That way, if you do crit, it's not going to add.
What do I put in that bonus damage? Do bonus dice no crit?
Just
What do I put there?
3d6.
3d6.
Woo!
You'll have to remember on your normal rolls not to count that.
Okay, so let's see if this works.
And then, okay.
So he's gonna stab at him with a.
+2, don't forget.
This doesn't look right, but
We'll look at it after it goes.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's adding his,
yeah.
it's adding +2 to that.
2 temp. Is there something with flanking? Oh, the plus inspire courage.
Yeah, I have the inspired
So it's-
courage.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
It's
that would make
adding the
sense.
inspire courage
So
to
then
your
Yeah,
sneak
that makes
attack.
sense.
2 as well for the flanking, or +1 for the flanking. So what? 16.
To hit, yeah, that will hit.
Okay, so
15 would have hit.
then 13 damage.
So 9 and then another 13 from sneak attack. Well, it's adding
the temp
The
point.
+2 twice.
Yeah,
so
so it
11
would
on the
be-
sneak attack.
20 total points of damage. We'll have to look at that later on, but I think 20 points of damage.
Yep.
Wait, yeah, 20. Okay.
And that is enough for it to go down.
Oh wow.
And holy crap, there, Khan, it's not dead.
Yeah.
It's at -17 and it's not technically dead.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Beefy.
unfortunate.
But
I don't
yeah,
like that.
you land that hit and it falls unconscious to the ground. You can move if you so desire.
Turn off sneak attack first. Okay. Yeah, he'll move right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after that, it is Ulret's turn. Ulret, you are grappled by this creature.
What can I do to? What are the options to break free from it again?
So you can roll an escape artist to try to break free, or you can roll a combat maneuver bonus check against its defense. So your CMB versus its CMD to try to break the grapple.
I'm gonna try to escape artist. Yeah!
Ah,
A 20.
yeah.
Okay, 24 against its CMD of 22.
Ooh.
A natural 20 for that result.
Oh yeah.
So you are able to break the grapple, so neither of you are grappled.
Great. That's my.
That is
standard
your, I
action,
believe,
right? Or move
I
action.
believe it is your standard
it's
action.
standard
Yes.
Okay. Ulret's gonna call out to Frampton. All right, my friends, you know what to do. I'll stay right here, and you. Oh. He realizes he doesn't want to call attention to Frampton. He's trying to sneak
Right.
behind him, and he just
Frampton's just like, really?
he just stays put and like readies his rapier. And
Okay. Next up, it is
it continues.
that-
Sorry, his as a free action continues his bardic performance.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Next up, it is that owlbear's turn. I'm going to roll a d6 to see who it goes after. 1, 2, Kieran. 3, 4, Ulret. 5, 6, Frampton. 4, what was that, Ulret? Okay.
Yes.
It's going to make its attacks against Ulret. It's not going to bother 5-foot stepping in between, so all 3 are going to be against Ulret. First attack, claw number 1. Yeah, it's only a 16. I think that's going to miss. I'll check. Natural 19, that's probably going to hit. And natural 18. So
So all of those hit?
no, the first one was only a total of 16, and I don't think that's going to come any close to his
Okay.
AC. So I think a 16 is going to miss, but the 28 and 27 will both hit. So he's going to take 8 damage, followed by another 8 damage. So a total of 16 points of damage as it then attempts to grapple with that one claw for a 27. You are now grappled again. So Ulret is now re-grappled. He took 16 points of damage, and that is the owlbear's turn. Next up, it is Aaidan. You see that Ulret's taking a bit of a beating over there. Can't quite get away from this thing.
I'm gonna charge.
Okay,
Well,
you
I think-
charge forward.
Yeah, I can't charge over the dead body, so I have to go that way. I was gonna roll a
Right.
D2, but there's no choice. So instead of flanking, I have a charge bonus. I'm not gonna change my weapon. I'm gonna go ahead and use that greatsword and try to end this. A
19 will hit.
for 23 slashing.
23. This one has not been hit yet, but that does a lot of damage.
Nice.
So 23. Okay, 23 points of damage. Yep, a solid hit from Aaidan. Next up, it is Kieran. You missed the first time, but you have a chance to redeem yourself. It is grappling again, so again, its AC is low.
Very low.
And I
according to what
can't
you said.
possibly miss twice in a row. And by miss, I mean roll a natural one.
I mean,
Twice
just
in a
think,
row.
Good.
you are flanking too. You have to hit AC 11.
So,
It's almost impossible.
okay, that's
24.
better.
24 will hit, 9 points of damage. Okay. Good to go. That is Kieran's turn. We were back to Frampton.
Hang on.
Okay.
I just want to imagine like
Sorry, filling out the journal.
Frampton
Sorry.
and Ulret have like had some like wombo combos in the past while they were defending the other group. So they're like they kind of got their own jive working fighting together, and like know their ins and outs a little bit. They have the like buddy cop chemistry that Oran and Nyari had.
Except you guys will actually keep yours. Hopefully not turn on each other.
So Justin, you can 5-foot step forward,
Yep.
which means you can still take your full round action to get both of your attacks, your main hand and your off. Both of the attacks will take a -2 penalty because of 2-weapon fighting,
Yep.
but
and
they
I
will
programmed
also
that.
both get sneak attack because you're flanking.
Okay, so let me put this in. Damage to for my dagger. Sneak attack. Bonus dice, no crit,
gonna be
3d6.
It's gonna be
This is where rogues shine, and not to mention you're a 2-fighting rogue. You're gonna get all the sneak.
It's gonna be a
attack.
lot of damage.
Oh, man.
Okay.
That would've been
And then
so
plus
good.
1 to that
Oh, no, that
13
does
for
confirm.
14.
That does
The
confirm.
so its AC is 13.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
You hit for 19 points of damage on the first one. It's
Yep.
still up at 5 hit points. Then you confirm a critical hit for a total of 17 points of damage, because again, it's adding the +2 twice.
Yeah.
So 17 more points of damage, which puts it down to -12.
So
Let me
I
just-
see Frampton
Yeah.
plunging his rapier into the owlbear, and then with a flick of his wrist of the dagger, severing its spine right at the neck.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool image. Kind of like this, and then he does like a flip trick
Like a-
with it, and
Yep.
then just like that.
Right
Like,
across the neck.
Oh,
Severs
that's-
its spine.
Collapses
That's
to the ground.
clean.
like
That's a
Attack
clean
on Titan
joke.
style, right in the nape of the neck.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean.
I
It
do have to say,
collapses.
so your critical reminded me of something funny that happened in Rune Lords with Josh's character, where he rolled a critical, but it didn't confirm, but his base damage was higher than his critical damage. So we were like, the one time when you don't want to roll a critical because it was lower than what your normal hit was.
So what is that doing? It's adding the competency bonus from the bardic performance into the Sneak damage? Is that what's
Yeah.
happening? Okay.
We'll fix that later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a way to do it. I'll have to look at it later to
Okay.
remember what it is. But yeah, you guys handle both of these owlbears. Aaidan and Ulret both took quite a significant amount of damage, though. But none of you have fallen. What are you doing?
Aaidan is going to take 20 on a perception as he looks over both of these owlbears for one very distinctive scar.
Ulret's
Okay.
going to walk up to Frampton and like do the whole like bro clasp thing with him and be like, I usually don't mind being the center of attention, but in this case I think I would have preferred otherwise. Nice clean kill, Frampton. And just
Yeah.
Like that,
yeah.
the two muscular men.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am going to be looking around because we heard screaming, right? Like human screaming?
You heard human-like screaming.
Human-like screaming. So
Yes.
looking around, is there anything that would have given me the indication that there's humans around here?
Roll a perception check. Aaidan, as you are looking at these owlbears, you
Oh
do
my
not
gosh.
see any scar that
Yeah.
you're looking for. Kieran, you're looking around.
Well, guys,
don't
I
see
can
any
tell you
humans.
there's no one around here. No one at all. It's just us.
Can I roll
Just
over
us.
Oh,
that
okay.
20 perception after checking the owlbears?
Roll a
30
different
for-
perception for this.
I'll do that. I'll just roll it. 'Cause I'm not gonna take 20 minutes looking for people. You know what I mean? If he doesn't
Yep.
see him, he doesn't see him. Well, you
Okay.
know, I decided to take
Huh.
a 20. That's it. That's
So-
a 33 for those listening.
Okay.
Natural 20. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Aaidan, Frampton, and Ulret, you guys kind of look over in the direction that they were digging. The owlbears
Minus
were
two,
digging at
actually.
this tree. And you see, kind of peeking up from a hole underneath the tree, is a pair of rabbits. And as soon as they see you, they duck back in and kind of scurry into their little hole.
So Ulret can speak Sylvan.
Okay.
So that's that's animal language, right?
No.
It's
No.
not. Oh,
That
dang
is
it.
kind of like the language of the Fae.
Oh, man.
Sentient plants can speak Sylvan. Animals don't speak any language
Oh,
generally.
okay.
Sentient animals might. That's not out of the question.
Right, but
Sylvan
then-
might be the go-to for that sort of situation, but generic animals wouldn't be able to speak regardless.
Right. You have. Oh, but you. I was gonna say you have to speak with animals, though. I'm confused. And then I realized.
No,
he
no,
doesn't.
I don't.
But yeah, I'll just tell you this. If you guys were to like roll knowledge nature or whatnot, these screams come from the terrified rabbits whose home was being uprooted by these owlbear predators.
All that.
But the
for a bunch of-
screams sounded human.
Yeah, the
All
book.
that for
So
paraconies.
word for word, the book says you hear the crash of splintering wood and human-like screaming echoing through the fangwood. These screams come from the terrified rabbits.
That's terrifying. That's like when they say that cougars scream like women. I don't
Oh,
know if you
they
guys have
do.
ever
I've heard a
heard-
cougar once. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
bobcat.
eerie.
They do the
I
same
don't like
thing.
it.
Bobcat's got a similar sound.
Yeah. Well, I am very glad I didn't meet these two out in the woods on my own. I'm not so certain I would have had the same result at the end of this fight. You lot aren't bad. Not bad at all.
I have to say, that weapon of yours is intriguing. How does it work?
Oh, it's basically just a long spear. It was a gift from my grandfather. An heirloom of sorts. It's taken me a long time to get used to it. I'm still not fully used to it. It's got a reach on it, so I'm not used to being back a ways.
Nobody in our group carries a weapon like that. That's fun to watch.
Well, I almost bit the dust with it at the beginning there, but I promise you I'm not as incompetent as it came across.
Don't worry, I got a bite myself.
Yeah, how are you all doing? You got hit pretty hard there.
Ulret casts Cure Light Wounds on him. So let's see, that's 1d8 plus 5.
Yes.
Ah, much better now.
So Frampton's gonna just kind of kick one of the owlbears before he walks away and say, "It was nice to meet ya," and then walk away.
You are quick, aren't you? I'm not sure I would have come up with that. I do enjoy hearing your jokes.
I got a million of them.
Are the rabbits edible?
No, good lord.
They're down in their hole now. You'd have to dig to get them out, but probably.
That's
you-
not worth digging.
Aaidan, I don't think we're that desperate for meat.
All that trouble for a brace of conies.
Do potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
So
Can I do like a knowledge local? Are these like screaming rabbits of the Thingwood Forest?
no, if you, as far as I'm aware, they're
Screaming
just
mushrooms.
general rabbits.
Rabbits that
Uh,
scream like humans.
Yep. The book just
Alright.
says that's basically all I say. There's no extra about the rabbits.
So, are owlbears magical beasts?
Yes.
Can I roll a knowledge arcana on them just to...
Yes.
Oh,
They have-
there's
20.
freaking natural
Ooh.
20.
Nice.
So
28
that is
knowledge
enough
arcana.
for you to get 2 pieces of information about them. What would you like to know? You recognize that they are owl bears.
Yeah, so how many attacks do they have, like on a full attack?
3. They get 2 claws. Each of the claws gets a free grab attempt, and then they have a
Okay.
bite.
And then the grab, does that do anything special, or is it just a free grapple?
No, it's just a free grapple.
Okay, so
they've got a
there's no
plus
poison
14
or
to
anything
grapple.
involved. They're not
Nope.
like platypi that have
Nope.
stingers or anything. Okay.
Just a free grapple.
Okay.
1 more piece of information.
Oh, I don't know. Surprise me. Is there
Don't
anything?
they have some
fancy?
cool flavored text on their bite, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe I'm wrong.
They might on like if you were to look them up in the bestiary.
Yeah.
This, what I'm looking at, doesn't have anything special about them. You would know that they are fairly perceptive. They have dark vision, low light vision, scent.
Okay.
They don't have any sort of special defenses like DR or anything like that. They're just kind of hardy and they hit pretty hard.
And
So-
they are naturally aggressive creatures.
They're they're neutral, but they're very territorial.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So and that's interesting. They just grapple, but they don't get anything that they can do after the grapple. No constrict,
Nothing fancy now.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
So, what do you guys want to do from here? This is fairly early on. This is one of the first encounters that you've had today. Do you want to just keep going in the direction that you were headed?
Aaidan does. Although, during this whole time, the way I see it is like the world around him is calm, but Aaidan is in like turmoil and doing his best to keep it under wraps and stay cool. It would have to be a pretty high perception, maybe. Well, that probably wouldn't do it. I can roll
Could I
something,
Oh, go ahead.
but
With the
yeah,
owlbears, could
no, you.
I don't want to leave the owlbears yet. It sounds like you're going into a whole thing about what we're doing next.
Okay.
Just real quick, could I harvest any alchemical stuff from the owlbears, like their feathers or anything?
Feathers.
You could
Really?
harvest parts of their bodies. I
Technically,
don't
think
know
it's a
if
material
they-
component for a few spells.
Maybe. I can look that up after the session, and we can just say that if there is something valuable or of use that you can get, you do so. And I'll look up afterwards if there's anything pertaining to that.
Super duper. Josh, be about your business. I apologize. Continue with
you're-
what you were saying. We're
No, you're
going
good.
somewhere.
No, that was it. He's just he's keeping a lot of anxiety hidden away about this situation.
Kieran's going to say, I should have done this before we even started fighting, but didn't really have time, so I'm going to do it now. It'll last for a little while, and he will cast Mage Armor. It shall last for 5 hours.
Okay.
Ulret barely notices that something might be awry.
With Aaidan, but he chooses not to pry into it.
Okay.
Well, I'm good to keep going if you are.
Oh, let the adventures continue.
Aaidan nods.
Okay.
What rhymes with owlbear?
Foul hair?
Candleware.
Quite a scare.
Ooh,
I like
Aaidan,
that.
I like
Quite
that.
a
Quite a
scare.
scare. That will be good for a children's song.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mother used to tell me stories about owlbears when I went to bed at night. Said that they would eat naughty children. Didn't work on me, obviously. I was still a naughty child, but was made for good stories.
That sounds horrifying.
Well, I didn't have the greatest childhood, I'll say that much.
Okay.
Aiden's got 1,000-yard stare.
Who's the edgelord now?
They'll eat naughty children. Oh.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad for Aaidan.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but that makes me really happy.
Literally got dead fish eyes. Like you ever watch? Obviously, you've watched anime. You know when they just like go catatonic and their eyes are just black.
He doesn't even notice.
It's
With
just
his sixth sense motive, no idea. Roll completely over his head.
Where are we going next, Jason?
So you guys continue on your path.
You and me, Frampton.
Yep.
Nothing is wrong.
It's a critical
Everything's
warning for the
super
podcast
happy.
listeners.
I love how stupidly jovial this party is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Do we
guys
have-
continue. What was that, Josh?
Well, I don't want to beg for heals, but I am in the yellow still, so I was just curious.
Oh,
since
Ulret
we brought up-
would cast would use the wand on you while we're traveling to
Yeah,
put you up. Go ahead.
Just keeps poking you in the butt.
yeah.
So
I
there
meant-
wasn't any.
Because he can't reach any higher.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Oh my
Oh,
word!
way.
Wow,
does
2
it.
max
That
heals.
does it. He feels perfect.
You have to
Feels-
make the noise like the Pillsbury Doughboy every time you get healed.
Oh, I'll do a lot of things. I'll do a lot of things. You have to pay me an amount of money. There's a price. There's a price, but it's higher than.
So you guys continue going to the northwest, and you eventually come across a stream, a river. This was one of the landmarks that Auburn told you. She said, go head northwest until you hit the river, follow it north a ways, and then you could cut and go nearly straight west. So you hit this river, you start following it, and you eventually get pretty close to what appears to be some sort of clearing. It looks like a lot of the trees have been like chopped down. Everybody roll a perception check as you get close to this clearing.
21 for Kieran.
Okay. Got an
Sorry,
8. 8 for Ulret, 23 for Aaidan. Frampton is
Sorry, was away
Coming.
from his computer.
he's coming.
AFK!
Frampton had put his laptop down.
AFK Arena!
Perception.
Okay. So, everybody except Ulret. Once you get close to this clearing, you can see a figure standing in the distance. Let me trying to think what actually I find.
Is
what
it a
the distance
dragon?
is. No, it looks like it's
Aw.
about 200 or so feet into this clearing, this open area. It's like on one side of the river, there's like the thick forest, but on this side, it's like part of the forest has been cleared, like trees have been chopped down and whatnot. There's a pile of logs to the side. It looks like this might have been a logging camp of some sorts. But you see a figure in the distance. I would say Kieran and Aaidan, with rolls in excess of 20, you can see that this figure is armed. It looks like it has a bow drawn, some leather armor. What do you do?
He sees us, or it sees us, whatever it is.
1 second.
Typically, if it's typical Aaidan fashion, he immediately draws his bow and fires at it. We have 0 diplomacy.
It,
Typical.
you see that it definitely turns its head in your direction, and it does see you. It rolled a natural 17 on perception.
And can
What
we
is it?
tell what it is?
Is it humanoid?
Is it
It's
hob?
definitely humanoid. It's kind of hard at this distance to tell like race, but it's definitely humanoid.
Hobgoblin?
Medium-sized humanoid.
So if it
I-
sees us, Kieran will kind of put his hands out and say, "Easy there, friend. We don't mean you any harm if you don't mean us any harm."
Aaidan will draw his bow and shout out,
Friend or foe?
You shout that out, and the figure immediately starts sprinting in the opposite direction.
Oh, you done went and scared it? We could have had a nice chat and you went and drew your bow.
Hey, what's going on?
Aaidan-
Who are you yelling at?
There's some figure up here. Didn't get a good look at it though. Just took off. You think we can catch it? I'm not that fast myself, but if any of you are fleet of foot, maybe we could catch up to it.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
That is a valid point. I wouldn't want to do that in front of strangers either.
I do not know what is to be gained. If it is a stranger on his path, I hope them well. But we do not need to cross.
Curious,
Just seems
isn't
odd.
it, though? Yeah.
How far into the Fangwood are we now?
You are at this point. Oh, I gotta look at the map to get a good idea of how far you are. You're about 10 miles, maybe a little over 10 miles.
We're approaching the edge of seeing anyone humanoid would be strange, but people have ventured 10 miles into the Fangwood before for various hunts, right? That's not unheard of.
And you said this was an old logging camp?
It
So
looks
it's like
like
a
it
clearing?
because a lot of these trees have been cleared, like you would expect from like a logging camp, and there's a pile of logs in the distance.
Right. I would say deeper in, any humanoid shape immediately becomes suspect, and you start wondering, is that a range? Like, you start thinking other things. But this close, I mean, there's still some hunters that might live out this way.
Mhm. Do you
No.
give chase or do you let it get away?
I want to. Sarah's about to say something.
Well, I don't know if that's one of your ranger friends. I don't know anything about them, but if you think it might be one of the people we're looking for, maybe we should try to catch up and explain our situation.
Did you notice anything green or indicative of the Rangers?
You, with that perception check, you did see a green poncho.
That may be true. All right, we can give chase. We don't mean them any harm.
And we'll go to see if we can't find where they were, and then I'll take a
Okay.
check for their tracks.
They are still in sight. They're just running away from you. This clearing is a very large clearing. They were kind of in the middle of it. You were at one edge. They're running towards the other edge. So they're within sight. If you started chasing after them, like, you don't even have to track them. Like, you can still see them.
Oh. And they're running away from us, and they've got a green poncho.
Looks like they have a green poncho. They've got a bow in hand.
Does it match the cloaks he found earlier?
Looks like it.
He'll man, he doesn't know any ranger calls. Not a single one. Not any. Like, Auburn hasn't taught him any of them, because all the ones she uses are old. Well, hey, maybe she's got like a pattern that she would use to whistle, like a bird or something that was like her call. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe she taught him that. Can you try to imitate that sort of sound or whistle or call or something?
You can do that. The figure doesn't really stop.
Okay.
So we're running after it, right?
Yeah, I mean, he tries to do what little he knows, and if it's still running, yeah, we can chase after it.
Okay.
This reminds me of the time I put a spider in my sister's hair and they chased me around the courtyard all day. It's all in good fun, of course.
You enjoy putting creatures in your sister's belongings, don't you?
Who wouldn't? If you've got two twin sisters that are older than you.
This is a very funny conversation to imagine as they're both like just
Yeah, we're like
trucking it.
totally booking it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's pretty funny if you got
I remember.
two
This is
older
definitely
twins.
like harder than your run that you can have an easy conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are running after this figure, and you get to like where it was standing, like halfway through the clearing, and roll a perception check as it starts getting closer to the edge.
Sure hope there's not a trap.
Related
Okay.
to Aubrin's description of where we expect to find this, how close are we?
Find, you mean the fort?
Yeah.
You're still
I
a
was gonna
good
say, we're
20 miles from
Pretty
the
far
fort.
away.
So that red line, that red box is like where you guys could be.
Oh, I see this now.
So Kieran's hanging behind Aaidan. He's following Aidan's lead.
Oh, he's gonna let Aaidan lead.
Ulret blends right in with the background.
The grass is just taller than him. He's
You just see his hair like above the grass. His hobbit
poofy
hair.
hobbit hair, yeah.
Okay.
He's not too quick
So-
either.
You guys are running after this figure, and as soon as you get to roughly where it was, you guys run, and you run by some of these rocks here, like this rock in particular, and Aaidan and Frampton both see out of the corner of their eye another figure hiding behind that rock.
Ooh.
And as soon as you see it, you hear the figure in the distance yell out in... Do any of you speak Goblin?
I do.
don't think so.
Ulret
As a
does.
matter of fact, I do.
Oh, everyone speaks Goblin. Ah, all right. I speak a little.
So-
Aaidan is still very rusty, but he speaks a little Goblin.
So those of you who speak Goblin, you hear this figure in the distance yell out, "No! Get them!" As a bunch of these guys jump out from behind
no.
rocks.
It
And
just appeared out of nowhere.
Aaidan
Yeah.
will shout out, "It's an ambush! Oh my gosh!" You know, that kind of thing.
Exactly like that. Oh my gosh! I
Oh
hope
my
you're ready
gosh.
to die.
Whiny
Oh,
Aaidan.
Oh no, look out. Oh no.
So-
they didn't play fair.
I need everybody to roll initiative.
Initiate.
I'm going to group these ones together. I didn't group the
Are-
owlbears, but I'm going to group these guys.
We. in
You are
dim
no
light-
longer in dim light because this is a clearing. This says sunlight coming in still.
We're coming up on 9:50. Are we playing this encounter out?
I don't think it's going to go all the way. We can either leave the fight for next session, or we can do like a round or two. It's up to you guys.
Might as
How do you
well
want to go about this?
save it
We're
for-
10 minutes out. We could maybe get through like surprise round, but I don't know if you want to stop mid combat.
I'll default. I'm good
Wait.
with whatever.
Makes no
too.
difference to me.
I think there's a good image to leave it off on either way.
I think
Okay.
narratively it works better to just surprise.
Leave it from here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then let me just 1 second here. So Ulrich got a 14, Aaidan got a 12, Frampton got a 21, Kieran got a 22, 21, and 22.
Maybe if they won the initiative and there's like an opening volley, like if an arrow gets loosed, that'd be a good
Yeah.
way to leave.
Frampton did notice this ambush, and he in the surprise. So he does get to act in the surprise round, and he would act first. But I'll end it with Frampton. You see, all four of these creatures. They pull back their bows, ready to loose arrows at the four of you, and that is where we will end it and pick it up next week.
awesome. What was
that's no
Frampton's
good.
perception?
Frampton rolled a 22 perception.
Oh, there it is. I was missing that.
Nice.
So are you saying it's been more than 5 minutes since our last combat?
Now,
Yes.
now I
unfortunately.
don't mean to be such a stickler, but if they are goblins, my initiative or my perception is 4 higher. Do I get to act on this?
No, you're gonna act in the surprise round too.
Awesome.
I do miss that bonus against goblins to my AC.
For those
Yeah, that
watching
was-
the
that was-
stream,
Dude, that was like what, a full +2?
Yeah.
Nyari?
Listen,
That's
Yep.
a lot for
I'm
a
just
train.
saying we were very tailored for combat against
Yeah,
goblins, and we are not so much that tailored anymore.
Not
But
so much.
Spectre of
Actually-
the table, thank you for following.
Actually,
Sorry you're
yeah,
catching
thank
us
you.
right as
Thank
we're
you.
finishing
Thank
up.
you, everyone. Thank you, all of the loyal and any listener who participated today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do be sure to check us out on Spotify, Instagram,
Uh-huh.
iTunes, everywhere else you find podcasts, and follow social media. Thank you, everyone.